Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another edition of The Fan Show, where Craig Dearman and myself, Chris Cowling, will be talking to Spurs fans from all around the world on how they are feeling right now. Of course, we are 5 games into this Premier League campaign. We have won 3. We have drawn 1 and we have lost 1. We're sitting in 3rd place, 10 points out of a possible 15. Now, we're live on YouTube, on X and on Facebook, so please do get involved. Let us know how you are feeling as a Spurs fan right now. How are you feeling about Thomas Frank? How are you feeling about a lot of the players that have been involved in this season so far? We're going to talk about it all. And of course, we're going to preview the Doncaster game as well. But the fans that are coming on tonight, they can talk about whatever they want to. They can take questions from me and Craig, of course, but they can come on and talk about whatever they wish. So if you'd like to get involved in a future episode, please do. It'd be great to talk to you. Great to hear from you. Email tottenhamfanchris@gmail.com. We have some fantastic news today as well. And I'm very, very proud to say that the Football Content Awards notified us earlier today that we have been shortlisted for 4 awards. The awards will take place at Ellen Road, Leeds United in November. The categories we're in: Best Club Content Creator in the Premier League, Best in Social, Best in Video, and Best Podcast in the Premier League. Of course, the Spurs Chat podcast. So a big heartfelt thank you to every single one of you who nominated us. And this is incredible because from what I understand, in the whole history of the Football Content Awards, no individual or channel has ever been shortlisted and nominated for 4 awards. So this is a really big deal for us, and every single one of us on the channel, at the podcast, big thank you very much for all of your incredible support. Craig, good evening. How are you?
I'm all good. Yeah, what fantastic news that is. That's quite remarkable, really, isn't it? Like you say, the first time somebody's been nominated 4 times. It's phenomenal, isn't it? It's I don't actually know what to say. It's quite remarkable, really, and just goes to show how popular that and how well received the channel is, which is great.
Yeah. And of course, that is why I wanted to say as well that we want to involve more and more people as well. And this is exactly why we do the likes of these fan shows. So we get a whole wide, range of views, opinions, etc. about the football club. Of course, it has been a big change to the football club over the last couple of months. I've no doubt that some of the fans and supporters will come on and talk about that this evening. But we love these fan shows, Craig, don't we? Because although we have some subjects in mind that we want to talk about, it's not really about us. These fan shows is about the supporters coming on and letting us know how they're feeling. But unpredictable shows, and we enjoy that.
Yeah, we do. And it's great to speak to regulars. I can see a fair few of them in the green room, but we're also keen on getting new people who may not have come on the channel, who might. But I know I spoke to a couple of people that watch avidly every show, and when I said come on the channel, they're like, "Oh no, I'm too nervous to come on. I don't want to make an idiot of myself." Well, we all have to do it first off, and you won't make an idiot of yourself. We don't bite. I think we're quite nice people, and you can come on and talk about whatever you want, and it's just a friendly community, and it's really good doing these shows. And I can see the green room is full again, so I'm going to be using the timer tonight so we can get through as many guests as we can. So
here he goes.
Whatever you want to talk about. Well, somebody's got to have. We got to give everybody a decent shot tonight.
Craig's timer's out. Things are serious when his timer comes out. And talking about making idiots of themselves, Craig and I have done it on many occasions, so don't worry about it. Don't be shy. Do come on, because it'd be great to talk to you. Now, this guy has never been on a fan show before, but I do see him week by week, home and away. We've got Spurs fan Eunice with us. Eunice, originally from Zambia, now living in the UK. Eunice, great to have you on. How are you?
I'm very well, Chris. Craig, thank you very much for having me. We've met each other many times at the grounds, and looking forward to the show today.
Eunice, thank you so much for joining us, as I said. And how are you feeling right now? Because, of course, I see you week by week, home and away. We often talk about Spurs, we often talk about the managers, we often talk about the players, performances, etc., etc. Win, lose, draw. How are you feeling right now? Because, like I said to Craig just then, the football club has gone through so much change on and off the pitch, certainly in the last couple of months. How are you feeling about the opening 5 games of this Premier League season and Thomas Frank?
Very positive. Can't complain. 5 games, third in the league. I think if you ask many Tottenham fans at the beginning of the season, after 5 games, we'll be third in the league with a new manager, with the changes that have taken place. I think most of them will take that, considering that we had an upheaval end of the season, getting rid of Ange. There was a lot of high emotions regarding whether we keep him or we sack him. But we are where we are with Frank now, and I think he's a fantastic signing. I think the best signing we've made this season is Frank, and I'm extremely happy. And I think we've got a lot of good days ahead of us, and we're going to do very well. I think the team is still gelling. We were there on Saturday against Brighton. As Frank said, that was the best performance I've seen so far. And
you mentioned Ange there. Eunice, were you an Ange fan? Did you think Ange should have had another season or not? I get the impression no, the way you're shaking your head.
22 games, lost 22 games in a season. To lose was too much. I mean, we went. Chris will vouch for that. We were there every away game, and it was painful. I think it was so painful. Fantastic victory in Bilbao. We owe it to him. But I was Ange well before then. And I think any team would have beaten Man United on the day in Bilbao. But credit to him, he got us a trophy after 17 years, 41 years for a European trophy. But I think long term, if he was still there, we would have struggled with Champions League and the methodology of his tactics going gung ho football. I think we would have struggled. Frank is a lot better. He's very technically astute, and we've seen that so far.
Eunice, of course, we've got the Carabao Cup game on Wednesday against Doncaster. The last time we won the League Cup was 2008, of course, against Chelsea at Wembley. Can Spurs go all the way? And will Thomas Frank, I know the club have said many times, including Thomas Frank, that we want to be fighting on all fronts, but do you think he might prioritise a competition like the League Cup? Because us fans now, we've tasted that success of winning the Europa League. That parade I often talk about on this show, that was incredible. We want to feel like that all the time. And, even if we won the League Cup, I feel like there would be another parade. It would be incredible again. But is this probably the easiest? I know no competition is easy. That's probably the wrong term. But is this the one that he should target in order to go far and perhaps lift the trophy? And, it starts with Doncaster. How strong do you think he will go?
Personally, I think every game you should have the mentality of winning it, irrespective of what trophy it is. And I believe consistent winning will create a mentality where we want to win every single game. So he should prioritize every cup. Go for it. If we win it, we win it. If we don't, we can only try. And obviously, we got Champions League, we got top 4, we got a Premiership, FA Cup, and I think we can win. We can win one of the trophies. I think now that we've tasted a trophy last season, fans are looking forward to it. We were 5 minutes away from winning a trophy straight away against PSG. So he's tried. He's already there, and I think he's going to go for it, and he should.
Do you want to see Javi Simmons playing in the 10 tomorrow?
Yeah, I would rest him on Wednesday. I'll rest him for Saturday. I think we got enough players to beat Doncaster without risking the big boys.
You'd hope so, wouldn't you? Yeah.
I think he's going to rest a few of them on Wednesday.
With the likes of Matisse Tell not in the Champions League squad, surely he has to be featuring and starting this game. And most importantly, I think a lot of us will agree here, if you start that sort of game against Doncaster, against lower opposition, and no disrespect to them at all, but you've got to be taking your opportunity. You've got to be showing the manager, putting yourself in the shop window and saying, look, this is what I'm about. I want more Premier League minutes.
Definitely. Every player given an opportunity, players like Johnson, Odobert, Tell, Gray, they should all be fighting for the places to get into the first 11. I mean, after a very long time, we have a very good bench now, and everyone should be fighting for it. Anyone gets a chance, they should go there, fighting for the place.
Yeah. Well, Eunice, it's been great to speak to you. We've got a load of guests to get through, so thanks for coming on. I hope you come back and speak to us again. Lovely to speak to you.
I'm going to be there
see you again soon.
Eunice, we do normally give guests a lot longer than this, but Craig's on his 5-minute timers, so apologies. We'll get you on again soon and you can talk more.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Cheers. Speak to you soon.
Cheers. Bye.
As I said, I often speak to Eunice, home games, away games, he's always there. And, I can vouch for, what you said there about the 22 league defeats home and away under Ange. We were there. But of course, we were there when we lifted the Europa League trophy. And that was a very, very special moment. Gary Maloney will tell you about how special that was. Gary, how are you, mate?
I'm good, thanks. How are you, lads? How are we doing?
Good.
He is, all right.
Gary, you've always got such a big smile on your face, which I love about you. I tell you what, if I could spend my days, the rest of my days of my life with you and Ricky Norwood, I tell you, you'd get me smiling more, I think.
I'll tell you
That
what,
included me in that. Look, see.
Not you, Craig, no.
There's a chicken shop open at the end of the road today, and it's all half price. So it's great.
Oh, happy days. Happy days.
I love it how Craig said, does that include me? No, it certainly doesn't. And someone said to me earlier, they went, can't you get Craig to smile a little bit more? I can't do anything about that. Yeah. Anyway.
It's got to be different, isn't it? We've all got to be who we are.
I agree. Look, I'm the channel's Roy Keane. I totally agree with most Roy Keane says. Smiling is overrated. It is so overrated. It's up there, like he said, with fireworks.
Who am I then? Major Richards, probably. I'll have to be him, wouldn't I?
I think
I'm
so.
as loud as him.
I think so.
Yeah. Right. Gary, how are you feeling about the season so far? What did you make of the Brighton game? Thomas Frank said that it is probably our best performance of the season. Would you go along with that statement?
Yeah, I thought it was good. I know it was sort of a mixed bag for a lot of fans and stuff. I saw a lot of stuff on socials, and obviously in our group there was a lot of disappointment. But I think I tended to compare it to last season. 2-0 up cruising, come out and get done 3-2 was just like unacceptable. So for me, I was kind of looking at that game and comparing it to last season, and I think, all right, it would have been 2 up and 2 all, probably wouldn't have felt as good. But the fact we went 2-0 down and came out that second half and played so well, I think we was unlucky not to win it. I thought it was really good second half. Vicario, he's got to put his hands up. That was his mistake with that. I know there's been a lot of conversations about the ball and the way it flights and moves, but you've got to be saving that. The first one, I just want to pick up on the first goal, what they got. Because I know Craig was with me with this, but no one, I've not seen this mentioned anywhere else, right? But when they've broke and he's gone around Vicario, I watched Romero and I rewound it back. And then that evening I watched it on Match of the Day. I think he could have got back and blocked that. I just think he stops running from outside the box and just gives up. And I'm looking at that thinking, if that was Van de Ven in that position, he's not letting that ball go in, but that's just my opinion. I mean, Craig, you felt the same, but I don't think anyone else really noticed that, did they? I don't think. I don't know.
No, it's weird because when you put it on the group, I was watching. I saw it on Match of the Day actually, first time I saw it. And,
same.
And I thought, Christ, but he's jogging back. Perhaps he just thought he couldn't get there, but I think he could have done. So,
yeah.
I mean, he might have got there, he might not have got there, but yeah, when you watch it back, you think, oh, perhaps he could have sprinted back and just slid on the line and blocked it, but it is what it is, I suppose. Gary, like I said, I think you was with me on this as well, that it seems a weird sort of atmosphere around the club at the moment. Everything seems a little bit low. Not low, that's the wrong word, but a bit just weird.
Flat.
It's like, a bit flat. That's perfect. Why do you think that is? And because it's
Hold
weird.
Hold on, let me put a bit of context to this. So in our WhatsApp group, Craig said everything feels a bit flat at the moment, although Spurs have done well on paper. We're sitting, in third spot in the Premier League. We've won 3, we've drawn 1, we've lost 1. And Ricky Norwood come out and said, because, it feels a bit flat because no one has got anything to moan about at the moment. No one's got anything to moan about the board, the manager, the players. Would you go along with that, Gary? I suppose that's probably what Craig's trying to ask, is it?
I would to a certain extent, but I think we got a lot of moan about for the Bournemouth game when we was at home, because that was absolutely awful. I think partly the fans are feeling a little bit flat and stuff because, believe it or not, I think with Daniel Levy being kicked out, so it's kind of a weird time at the moment. And also I touched on it with Craig, and I think when we had Big Ange, he was such a character, you know, post-match interviews and everything else, you know, love or hate him, he was a bit like a Mourinho. But with Thomas Frank, I mean, he's great, Thomas Frank, and I'm really warming to him, but he is just a tactical man. You know, he's very straight-laced. He comes out, you don't get the same feel like you did with Ange with him. I'm not saying I don't like Thomas Frank, but I feel he's just one-dimensional, you know? Whereas Ange, you didn't know if he was going to kick off with one of the journalists or what was going to happen. And I think that's kind of where we are at the moment. But I don't think... I get what Ricky's saying, but I still think there is things there we can moan about, because, I mean, that home game for Bournemouth, it's typical Tottenham, though, Chris. It was the same last season. You know, we got outplayed at home to Ipswich, and then we went up and hammered them 4-0. It's what Tottenham do. But I think overall with the season, I think you've got to be happy, but it's early days, isn't it? It's very early days.
Right, Gary. So my question to you is, so the other, I think it was yesterday, on Sunday, I put a post up saying match week 5 is now over. Of course, Arsenal drew with Man City. So after that game, I put a post up saying match week 5 is over. Spurs finish match week 5 in 3rd. We next play Wolves in the Premier League. They're sitting bottom of the Premier League table. They've lost 5 out of 5. Right. The comments underneath on Instagram, on X, etc. They're like, "Yep, Dr. Tottenham will see you now. Spursy, all of this," and I'm like, oh my God, I did not post that for that response. I was trying to be positive and upbeat, thinking, right, we're playing a team who's lost 5 out of 5. And honestly, and I spoke to Craig earlier on the phone and said, this is about now. Ange Postecoglou won us that trophy. And it's funny because when we went to the Craig, myself and James, we did the Sun podcast. I think it was a year or so ago, and they asked us the question, will Spurs lose that Spursy tag under Ange Postecoglou? And I said yes. So you could argue that we did kind of lose that Spursy tag because we won a trophy, right?
Yes.
Now, I said to Craig earlier that this is the time now where Thomas Frank loses that Spursy tag of losing games like Brighton at the weekend, because I tell you what, under many different managers, we'd have probably lost that game. And you rightly said we came back into it, showed real desire, real grit, determination, etc., to come back, and we should have won it at the end because the amount of chances, and Javi Simmons changed the game, in my opinion. But is Thomas Frank? I know it's a long-winded question. Sorry about that.
No, that's all right. I'm just looking at the time because Craig must be sweating. We've done about 7 minutes.
He's sweating. I can see it. Yeah. But
Chris has spoken more than you, Gary.
That's true. Sorry about that. So with Thomas Frank, is he the guy now to literally take the Spursy tag away? You talk about tactics and his awareness and flexibility and all of that. I feel like he is going to come in. Like I've been so impressed with him. I know we're only 5 games in this Premier League season, but what a change! And I feel like it's only going to get better.
Yeah, I think he will take the tag away, and I think we've only got about 25% of that tag left. The problem that we have, right, is whenever we're going to lose a game at home to Bournemouth, or I don't think we're going to lose at home to Wolves, but let's say if we had have lost at home to Wolves, it's always going to come back and haunt us. But I would already say now, by getting that trophy in the bag and stuff, we're pretty much away from that Spursy tag. It's one of those things where it's always going to be thrown back in our face. But I think Frank, with his tactics and stuff and how he can sort of... The thing is, he does have a plan B and C. He does change it up, I know everyone said Ange didn't. Yeah, he went slightly different in the Europa League and it was all eggs in one basket. But Frank changes it, and he changed it in that second half against Brighton. And he made the change that we need to do. And I think he can see that. I mean, you could probably argue, his changes were slightly better than even Arteta or Pep's in that game, and that was classed as the biggest game of the weekend. But I think Thomas Frank needs a lot of, applause for what he did at half-time and how he changed it. I thought it was very good. And Brighton's no pushover, Chris. People are talking about Bournemouth and Brighton like they're small clubs. They're not. They've beaten all the big boys,
Yeah.
But we're
Craig.
always going to get that, Chris. Bournemouth Bournemouth home and away. I went to the away leg as well last season, and the 2-2 at home. And we were very lucky to get a draw at home against them. They played better than us. We came back from 2-0 down to 2-2. But Bournemouth are a good side, and I think what we've seen so far is, apart from the Bournemouth game, we've gone toe to toe with all the teams, and we've played some really good football.
Craig, just very quickly, let me ask you on Gary's point there, because I feel like over the years, certainly, and especially under Ange Postecoglou, when things used to go wrong, he would get absolutely hammered and battered for things going wrong. But when something does go right, and when Spurs come back like they did on Saturday under Thomas Frank, you don't really hear or see many people complimenting a manager for what they've done, what they've changed. It's always about, we were 2-0 down.
Yeah,
There's never really a lot about, spoken about, like, what great desire to come back, and, what great character to come back. And Thomas Frank, what I love about him, and I know that other managers in the past have spoken about this as well, but Thomas Frank speaks about it a hell of a lot, especially in the last couple of press conferences. The mentality shift, Craig.
Yes, and that is key. That is key, because we've been there before, haven't we? Where we go goals down and we don't quite have enough to get back. We used to do it under Conte, I remember, actually, and we used to actually, it took us to go a goal down before we started playing. That's how it seemed, didn't it?
Yeah.
Those days under Conte, and you can only do that for so long. Saturday was weird in that Brighton, we were absolutely pummeling them. I think it's safe to say. We were all over him, and then they hit us on the counter. Van der Ven missed the tackle. He was out of position then, and then the ball got played through. Very fast attacker in Minter, and he scored. And then they done us again, obviously with an absolute worldie, by the way. But I agree. I think Vicario could have done and should have done better. He'll be disappointed at that as a goalkeeper. But having that mentality to come back is gonna serve us well, and they would have learnt a lot from that game. So I personally think that's going to serve us well, because we should have, probably biased, but I think we should have won that game on balance. Yeah. That shot from Kudus at the end, deflection, could have gone in on another
close,
day.
Wasn't it?
So close, and there was one where Bergvall was so keen to get on it. It was going straight to Richarlison, and he almost had a tap in. Wasn't quite a tap in, but he was definitely in a better position. So, for me, that's that mentality is going to be key. Gary, I'm going to ask you one more question. Actually, I know you're probably itching to talk about that mob down the road, but the fact that they were so close to them losing the game, so unlucky from City yesterday. Yeah. Now we are on the same points as Arsenal. Some would say we've had easier games. I don't buy into that at all. I don't think there's any easy games in the Premier League. Not, no. We beat Manchester City in the stadium. Beating Manchester City is not for everyone. Obviously, Arsenal can't do it, so we did it.
I've been using that line all day, mate.
But so what if we keep? I know it hurts to say this, but if we keep hold of Arsenal's coattails or overtake them, let's hope we overtake them. We're going to be up there, aren't we? So have we got a chance of making top 5 this season?
I think we have. I think at the start of the season, I put us at either 6th or 7th. I didn't see us winning a trophy, but with Thomas Frank and the players that have come in, who knows? I've just got to give a shout out to this guy at the moment, because I just think Kudus is just unbelievable. He is by far one of my most favourite players at the moment. Do you know what I love about him? He's so strong on the ball. And we've had so many players that go over. I mean, look, we know Ricky goes over, and we had the likes of Brian Gill and players like that. But Kudus, he's not just got the technical ability, he's got the strength. I don't know what your favourite players are. I'll ask you, because for me, I think it's actually Kudus at the moment. I really, really love the guy. What about you two guys?
His touch, Gary, is unbelievable, and like you said about his strength. But Lucas Bergvall this season has been unbelievable, and already we are seeing improvements from a lot of players throughout this team and squad. And we all said when Thomas Frank walked through the door, we're going to see improvements in certain players, and I feel like we have seen them already. Javi Simmons, Javi Simmons, we all knew what player that we signed in the summer, and I think he's going to be a real star. The impact, that is exactly what you want. I know he's got to rotate the team, because we've got games coming thick and fast. But Javi Simmons, what an impact he made, and that is exactly what we love to see.
I hold my hands up, Chris, because when we didn't get Eze and we didn't get Gibbs White, we brought in the players that we did. I think I gave the transfer winner. I know we all put numbers up. I think I might have been a 5 or a 6, and I think I was still a bit, annoyed and frustrated about the Gibbs White and the Eze. But the players that come in have been absolutely amazing, and it is exciting times for us at the moment. I can see us going on and winning some real good games and playing some really good football. And what I like is when things ain't going right, he changes it. That's it. Yeah. And that's what we need.
Gary, we know that we can talk to you all day long, but we haven't got time.
I just want to say 2 things very quickly. Chris, congratulations for being nominated for 4 different awards. I don't think that's ever happened to a content creator before, ever, I don't think.
It's unreal. Right? It's unreal. Yeah. But
congrats on that, mate. That is amazing.
But it's like I've always said, it isn't about me. It's about us, because we are here every week.
You just want to be like him and Son. You just don't want to take any of the credit. It's you, mate, and you deserve it. Me, Craig, we're just the fans on the side. I
couldn't do this without any of you guys. So it's unbelievable that what we have achieved. So it's unbelievable. Yeah. So I can't thank everyone enough for that.
No, listen, look, it's brilliant, and you deserve it. And secondly, I've missed talking to you guys on here. I've not been on for a while. I can't remember the last time I was actually on, and I've really enjoyed it. I'm even in better mood now. I'm buzzing. So I'm going to watch the rest of the show.
Gary,
jump off and watch all the fans that come on, because I love it.
You know that you're very welcome on here every day, and you're very welcome to join me on 5-hour fan shows whenever you want.
And we still got the record, that 5.5-hour one.
I think we did 6 once. I think we did 6 once.
Did
but
you're always going to have that record, because Craig's 5-minute timers. Poor old Eunice only got the 5 minutes, and he threw him off. Unreal.
Listen,
right, Gary.
I'll see you down the stadium. on Saturday. I'm there for Tottenham Wolves, so I'll meet you for the game. Yeah.
We'll see you there for a drink. Yep.
Wicked.
Cheers.
All right,
cheers,
lads,
mate.
take it easy. Come on, you Spurs.
Bye.
Cheers, Gary.
Right, we're now going to go to Australia to talk to Phil. Phil, I'm so sorry for keeping you waiting, because I know that you are, early hours of the morning there in Australia, isn't it?
Yeah, 4 o'clock. Thank you.
4 o'clock.
I'm now going to call you Dr. Sleep. Thank you very much
grief.
indeed. That's what you do.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. How are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling, not too bad. I was disappointed that we didn't beat Brighton. I'd liked him to brought on Xavi at half time and keep him in the middle, because he did make a difference. And I think if he'd have had an extra 5 or 10 minutes, he would have turned that more. But just before I forget, I just want to congratulate you on all the nominations.
Thank you.
It's got to be a good show. I mean, how many of your audience get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to watch this? So it's got to be good.
Full respect to you. That's it.
Yeah.
This is what I look like. I do. I'm only 16.
You got the same barber as me, mate.
Yeah, I do. I think I'm catching you up. I think we've got. What I'm disappointed with is we're not getting enough shots on goal. The opposing goalkeepers haven't got a lot of saves to make. So we're getting this great wing play. The ball's coming in, but Richie's really showing, even though he's done well and he works damn hard, he's not a target man. Mm-hmm. And that's why we need Solanke back. We need someone in the middle, because the one shot I remember from Richie was such a soft little shot. Instead of putting his boot through it from the angle, he's like trying to curve it straight into the goalkeeper's arms. And we need more than that. You could do all this possession, all this thing, but unless we're doing shots on goal, on target, we're going to have a problem. Now, I know Frank has concentrated on the defence, and that's right, and he's slowly moving forward, but we need we need shots on goal. Proper shots on goal. That's what I've been disappointed with, because we should have beaten Brighton.
Craig, before you come in and ask your question to Phil, I just wanted to ask this. Because Richarlison, I know exactly what Phil's saying, and Thomas Frank actually said this. I said it during the game, and then when I watched the press conference with Thomas Frank, he said exactly the same thing about Richarlison should have probably got himself in better positions in and around the box, because the amount of crosses that Thomas Frank's Tottenham have been putting in, exceptional. Some of the crosses were really good, but I even said, during the game as well, wow, if Spurs actually had Harry Kane in this team, I know Harry Kane's going to change a lot of teams, but if you had a striker in there, knowing what positions to get into, being that real killer striker in and around the 6-yard box when some of these crosses are coming in and getting in the right positions, we could be in a very different position. And I completely agree with what Phil has just said there. Dominic Solanke, I cannot wait for him to come back. And that is no disrespect to Richarlison, because I feel like they're two very different players. But I feel like Solanke will be in some of those killer positions to have those tap-ins or score those goals in there. But fair play. The side are putting in a number of killer crosses, aren't they?
Was that
Craig?
To me or to Craig?
Oh, was that to me? Sorry, miles away.
I've asked you, Craig, because you keep saying to everyone that you were, the best number 9 never to play for England. So I'm asking you as a striker.
Some of those crosses are the dream.
Look, it's 4 a.m. in Australia, and it's only 7:30 here in the UK. Wake up!
I didn't hear you say Craig, honestly. I glitched or something. No. In all seriousness, those crosses are phenomenal. Some of them, and a centre forward should be thriving on service like that and delivery like that. And I agree. There was a couple of occasions. I don't know what specifics Thomas Frank was talking about, but there was a couple of moments where balls came into the box, and you think that's where your number 9 should be. And I've said to you before, I've never been convinced. I don't know. It seems like Phil and I are on the same page with this. I've never been convinced that Richarlison's the answer. He's a decent player, but I don't think he's the answer to Tottenham. Had a couple of good games, or 3 good games at the start of the season, but apart from that, he seems to. I know he scored at the weekend, but I don't know. For me, it just needs to be doing a bit better. I don't know what you think, Phil. I know you've kind of hinted.
He's not a prolific scorer. He's only scored maximum 13 or 14 goals in a Premier League season. That is
13,
not.
I think.
You need for your main striker to be able to score at least 20 goals a season. And if you don't have a 20 goal a season man, you're in trouble. Oh, and by the way, I hope you're adding time to my clock for when you were asleep just a minute ago.
I'm going to ask you another question now. Can
I just say, Craig? Can I just say? So someone stopped me at the stadium the other day, and they said you do banter Craig quite a lot. I feel sorry for him at times, but I tell you what, tonight it's deserved.
It's fully deserved tonight. Look, we're what are we? 34 minutes in, and I completely missed a question. So that's must be half asleep. No. What my thing? Oh, and by the way, don't worry about me. I can give as good as I get. I just possibly don't show it as much as I should on here. Don't feel sorry for me. I'm absolutely fine.
Don't feel sorry for him.
No, well, you can if you want. No, the left wing position, Phil. Me and Chris were talking about this the other day, and I still think that left wing position is up for grabs. It's clear that Thomas Frank was dead impressed with Javi in the number 10 role, so I would imagine he's going to be playing there more often than not now because he changed the game. So, do you agree with me that left wing position is up for grabs and somebody should either take it, and if they can't take it, we should be looking to bring in a player in January that can fill that role?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Odegaard was only his first real game, and any player needs a run of games to get into the swing of things. Brennan Johnson, I know he's been pulled out from the right-hand side because of Kudos to the left, but, and I've said this before, he's not the type of winger that can take on and beat a fullback. it's just can't do it. I'd give Odebear a little bit of a run, and let's see what he can do and why we bought him. And but we need a good winger or a left-sided player, because I don't know if is Tell isn't that type of person, but at the same time he's not a main striker either. He seems to like assist the striker rather than being the main target man as well. So the left-sided, yeah, if the players can't take the opportunity when they're given it to make that spot theirs, then they're going to have to get someone who can. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I sound like a
lots of
bloody
lenient.
politician. I don't always answer the question directly.
Phil, I'm going to ask you a direct question. Lastly, now before the season started, Opta's supercomputer predicted that Thomas Frank's Tottenham would finish 14th this season in the Premier League table. Now, after our 2-2 draw at Brighton and after 5 games of this Premier League season, the algorithm are now predicting that Spurs will finish in 7th spot in the Premier League table, and they have given Spurs an 18.26% chance of a Champions League finish. If I was to ask you now, and I know it's very early on in the season, there's 33 games to go in this Premier League campaign, but from what you've seen so far, and from what you've seen so far of the other sides in the Premier League, what would be your prediction of where Spurs would finish?
Well, the last time you asked me that, I said we should finish 5th or 6th. And I haven't seen anything to change my thoughts on that.
Okay.
Computers can do all sorts of things, but as you can see, it keeps changing as it puts more information in as the season goes on. So, you got to have a bit of religion in your life, and Tottenham's my religion. So, I'm still thinking, why not? We can go for it, because though we haven't got the strongest squad, we've got a number of players now that are going to work damn hard to keep their place in that team.
Yeah.
And therefore, they showed against Brighton not to give up.
Yeah.
And they came back from 2-0 down, where we haven't had a good run recently at Brighton. So I think it's good. And I also agree with Craig and was it Gary about what's his name, about Romero. He did definitely slow down when he could have got to that line to stop the goal. No doubt in my mind, because I was watching it live, obviously, over here. So, definitely. It's no doubt in my mind.
Phil, thank you so much for joining us, particularly at 4 a.m. Get some sleep, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks very much, and many congratulations again. All right.
Thank you so much.
You.
Thank you for joining us. We'll speak to you soon. Cheers. Right, we're now going to go to a guy that I said a quick hello to outside the Amex. This is Luke. Luke, how are you?
Hi, Chris. How you doing? Hi, Craig.
Yeah. Great to see you on Saturday to say a quick hello. Now, you were at the game. Now, Troy Deeney on TalkSport said Destiny Doggy was miles off it, and Jed Spence is better in that position. What game was he watching?
Oh, bizarre. But I've seen a lot of people saying that online, and I really don't understand it, because I thought, do you know what was really interesting, particularly in the first half, was Doggy looked like he was still playing under Ange in some of the better games we had where he was inverting, because I just thought he got to the byline and brilliantly on more than one occasion. In fact, it was probably like 4 or 5 times. And actually, you mentioned about Richarlison earlier, and I was feeling the same thing, that he was just that little bit too slow. He should have been, there was a pocket of space that Udogie was looking at every time he got to that byline, and he's running towards the goal, he's running out of space, he's getting closed down. You can see Richarlison's not there, and he plays it anyway, and it doesn't get to Richarlison. So he was sort of like a second too late. But I thought Udogie was brilliant, and from where I was sitting, on probably 3 or 4 occasions, the ball came over the top, Minte got it, and Udogie just muscled him off it and turned it around back to the pitch. He did make a few mistakes in terms of sort of who he played to and how he played the ball when he was coming up the left wing attacking. But nothing that I think you could sort of damn his performance with. I think that's ridiculous. But also suggests that Deeney just sort of watched some highlights of the game, didn't really watch the full thing before he went on air. But yeah, completely disagree with that. I was really pleased with him. In fact, he looked like a man who'd been told, if you don't play well today, Spencer's got your job again next week. And I thought he did really well. And you can see that if we do get to a point where Spence comes back on the right, I mean, the defensive quality of those two fullbacks is going to be huge for us. So yeah, load of rubbish.
What do you make of Bergvall in the first half, Luke? Did you think he was trying to do too much, essentially? Because that's how I saw it in that sort of number 10 role. He was playing a bit further up. He seemed to be too keen, in my opinion. But when he moved back into an 8 sort of role, he was, he was a lot better, let's face it.
Well, this is where I think that I don't quite agree with the best performance of the season thing, because from what I saw, he was almost like playing as like another 9 at points. He had Richarlison trying to fit in between the centre halves and the full back on one side, and Bergvall getting a little bit too far up on the other side. So then you needed someone from midfield to progress the ball into that space and to make the pass to them. But Bergvall was too high. Bentancur wasn't really travelling far enough with it. And that for me is why Simons made such a difference when he came on, because he just sat a little bit deeper than Bergvall was, and he was then playing direct balls forward to Richarlison, whereas Bergvall wasn't in the position to do that. And, you know, Bentancur is sort of a perennial sideways passer. He was just passing sideways constantly. He just kept going back down the wings. And as soon as Xavi came on and Bergvall was free to sort of move about a bit more, there was someone right in the middle, which is where I think Bergvall should have been. So I think his positioning was a little bit naive at times. He seemed a little bit inexperienced. He didn't seem to want to pass forward. They seemed obsessed with getting it out wide. And for large periods, Brighton were quite happy defending like that. But I actually thought we had the better of their fullbacks for most of the game. But for me, not quite enough from Bergvall in the first half. I was quite surprised actually that he stayed on, but I guess it's because we were still chasing the game and Bentancur wouldn't have brought any sort of further attacking threat. But he's still learning. I like him a lot. He's really, really talented. So he's got a lot more to come. But he hopefully he can look back at that game and learn quite a bit, because he should have been just that little bit deeper in that pocket of space in front of the back line. And then he would have been able to play a ball through or run on himself. He was getting a little bit too close to the defenders. So yeah, it's always a learning curve for him. And if we play him, we sort of take that gamble, don't we?
Luke, lastly, I've got to ask you about João Palhinha. What have you made of him in that number 6 role? Of course, you know, a lot of us have said that he is that number 6 that we have been crying out for, certainly in the last couple of years. And, you know, these stats are incredible. No player has made more tackles in a Premier League game so far this season after match week 5. He made 7 tackles against Brighton on Saturday, and no player has made more tackles in the Premier League this season, a total of 19. Those stats say everything, don't they?
Yeah, I could go even further back than that, Chris, with the stats. I think that when he played his first game for Spurs, I'm going to get this slightly wrong, so excuse me, I'm paraphrasing here, but I remember reading this. They said he played his first game for Spurs, made a load of tackles in that first match of the season, and he was sitting 3rd in tackles made over the last 5 years in the Premier League, and he's not been in the league for 2 years. So he was still 3rd in the table. Like, he's
Incredible.
unreal. He's a machine. He's got to be close to the top now. He's the player we've wanted for quite a long time, I think. I don't remember. I think maybe Wanyama was the player there years ago. We've had players try and do that role and not been amazing at it, but his ability to snuff out and predict attacks, man, he's you know, he's got a real talent there, and it's a talent that I think is being praised, which is nice, because you often see those kind of players maybe not get as much praise as the goal scorers, right?
Yes.
But
Yeah.
he's getting a lot of praise now, which is deserved, because I mean, obviously you were at the game as well. Brighton just couldn't get out, and the Brighton fans were not enjoying it. And I was on the bus with them back to the car park, and they were talking about Palhinha on the way back, saying could not get past that bloke. He was just a brick wall. And even when Bentancur came off, and the two of them were obviously trying to do that role together by side, he was doing it on his own. He was just single-handedly just stopping them, just cutting them out every time they came forward. There's a tackle he made as well, that was one of those tackles that I think Christian Romero could take note, because it was incredibly hard, but he won the ball and it was fair. So you couldn't argue it. And the ref let the game play on, and the fans in the stadium were furious at the Brighton fans because it looked pretty aggressive. But he won the ball cleanly, and off he went up the pitch with it. So yeah, I was super impressed with him. And I think he's central. I mean, we saw against Villarreal the other week, he came on and suddenly I think it was a bit calmer, wasn't it? Suddenly we felt like, oh, actually,
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
huge pockets of space in the middle are filled now, and he's covering that ground. But keeping him fit, that's the key, right?
That is the exact term that I like to use about João Palhinha, calm. He has that such calming presence, which I absolutely love, especially in that role, and makes a real difference to this Tottenham Hotspur team. £26 million Spurs could buy him for on a permanent in the summer. Surely that has to happen. And there is talk at the moment in the media about that happening, and they're going to try and get that deal done in January for the summer, which, in my opinion, would be a very good £26 million spent from Spurs. Luke, I know this 5-minute timer goes very quick, so thanks so much for joining us, and we look forward to talking to you again very soon.
Cheers, Chris. Congrats on your nominations as well. It's well deserved.
Thank you so much. And
cheers.
As you know, you're a big part of the show now, Luke. Got your own segment on weekly, and it's great to have so many of you guys on board. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Gary's already stolen my stat of the week, though, for next week, though, that we've only got 25% Spursiness left. That's my stat gone, so I don't know what I'm going to use.
We don't want any Spursy. We don't want any Dr. Tottenham, especially on Wednesday or Saturday.
Exactly.
We want 2 wins this week. 2 wins, yeah. Cheers, Luke. Speak to you soon.
Cheers. Bye.
Thanks, Luke.
Craig, got a lot of noise going on there. I don't know what's going on. Right, we're going to now go to Turkey.
Hello, Archie.
Archie, how are you?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. How are you boys doing?
We're very well.
Congratulations on the nominations, by the way. Absolutely well deserved, mate. I mean, you traveled the world to bring us all this coverage. Well, I'm in awe. I mean, obviously I've been following for years, and I'm in awe of all the hard work that you put in. So every bit of accolade that you receive, I think, is really well deserved, because you really put in the effort. All the matches and stuff that you go to. It's amazing. It is amazing.
Archie, thank you so much. Let's ask
face at one of those games, though, especially pre-season. I have a plan. I'm going to join you in one of these pre-season games, like in Australia or Far East.
It'd be great. Yeah, we'll sit there and have a beer or two. Absolutely. It'd be great. Right, before we get your thoughts on how you're feeling right now as a Spurs fan. Now, of course, we've got 2 big games. They're all big games. Every game is a big game, no matter what competition it is or the Premier League. But on Wednesday, we face Doncaster in the Carabao Cup. On Saturday night, we've got Wolves at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And as I mentioned earlier, they've lost 5 out of 5, sitting bottom of the Premier League table. Surely the expectation amongst all of us, I know there's a lot of jokes going around about being Spursy and Dr. Tottenham will see you now and all this, but we've got to be expecting 2 wins this week, haven't we?
For sure, definitely. I mean, obviously we're a totally different team under Thomas Frank, and yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure that probably for Doncaster he's going to make a few changes. I'm sure a few of the players that were on the bench probably going to get some starts. We might even see, Moani maybe make his debut. Who knows? Obviously there's a couple of players missing, but they're supposed to be back for Wednesday. I think I saw in the news, team news. So yeah, I think both of those games. For me, this Brighton game was a big test. I think in the last couple of years, this game was a kind of typical. I think you guys touched on it. This is the kind of game that we would have gone on lost. And the fact that we stuck at it, and just seeing the non-stop, the attitude, the effort that the players gave at the weekend. Yes, we made some mistakes. Yes, the 2 goals that we conceded were, unfortunate, I think. But again, I with everything that you guys talked about previously with all the previous guys, I think one of the things that I keep coming back to is, we're not sort of 4 or 5 months into a season. We're only in September still, so it's still so early in, Thomas Frank's reign as our new boss. And there has been a lot of changes in the club, both, in management, obviously from the very, very top of the club to obviously our new coach. But what I will say is, obviously, I'm watching all the games live on TV, you know, being in Istanbul, being in Turkey. And you might see this when you're watching the games, Chris. Every time they cut to the bench, what I really love, and I think what is so different, what seems to be so different about Thomas Frank is that, you know, he's very technical. You know, he's got the, you know, board in his hand, and he's, you know, constantly talking to his, you know, coaches. And it isn't just him. There's like 4 or 5 of them literally having,
Always.
you know, meeting after meeting, and they're talking, and they're constantly, you know, talking about stuff. And it looks like they're constantly, you know, assessing things and looking at things, and, you know, and there's just constant communication, which is really, really great to see. I mean, it just goes to show that they seem to have an idea, or at least a response to whatever is going on in the game live.
Yeah.
You know, they're constantly assessing it. They're constantly looking at where the players are, where they should be, and they're constantly communicating onto the pitch what should be done. And that's top game management in my opinion. So it gives me a lot of hope. You know, I know like some people have criticized. You know, you guys talked about some, you know, people criticizing some of the players, but, you know, some of these players like Tell and even Odebear, you know, these players are still quite young, and they're still, you know, new. And I think let's judge them 3-4 months into the season, once they've really got going into the season, you know. Sorry, I went off on another rant there.
No, it's good. It's good. Saves us asking questions. You rant all you want. What I have to say is, I might be naive in this, but why should I? And I do think this, by the way. I think we've got a bloody good chance under Thomas Frank of winning at places like Stamford Bridge, like Anfield, like at the Emirates, like at Newcastle. And I know Chris is, you know, that podcast that we have at Chelsea, I'm kind of booked in for that every year till I die, I think, for hosting that one, because that's one that I know Chris hates. But
yeah, can't get a reception.
Yeah, that old chestnut. Am I mad thinking that? Because I don't know why. I've just got a feeling he's going to go into those games better tactically than, say, Ange would have done. I think we've got a better chance under Frank in those games. Am I right in that?
Yeah, I feel exactly the same way, Craig, for sure. I think, as I mentioned, I mean, every game, that not just the Brighton game, but even the previous games, whenever, you know, obviously the TV coverage cuts to the you know, the bench, the you know, all the coaches and stuff all the time, and there's always communication going on. They're always looking, they're talking, they're assessing, or, you know, Thomas Frank is on his feet telling players, you know, go here, go there, move, come back, you know. So and I think that's until his system, probably, I imagine, as the season goes on and players get more and more used to his system and, you know, what he's expecting them to do, obviously there's going to be less and less need for that, because I think sometimes people mention about you know, managers overdoing it, you know, over like telling players and confusing players, and I don't think that seems to be the case, because looking at the performances, certainly, obviously, bar the Bournemouth game, I think that was a bit of a you know, an exception, but outside of that, when you look at all the other games and how well organized, how much better organized we seem to be, the players really seem to have a good idea of what they're supposed to be doing, what is expected of them. And whenever we get into certain situations, I mean, some of the passing, honestly, on Saturday, you know, against Brighton, were brilliant. I mean, some of them came off and some of them didn't, but it already looks so much better than it did for large parts of last season. And again, I don't want to diss, you know, Postecoglou, but, you know, just there really seems to be a night and day difference with the way the team is organized. Everything is organized. I mean, I watched some of the official videos that Spurs release, you know, about the training sessions through the week. And when you look at them as well, again, all the coaches know exactly what they want players to do. And they seem to be, all the training seems to be very technical, very well set up, so that, you know, and again, you know, repeat. I'm sure sort of another 1 or 2 months into the season, a lot of these players is going to become kind of second nature to them about what they need to do at different, you know, when we're attacking, when we lose the ball, when, you know, we're, you know, maybe, you know, opposite side is counter-attacking us. You know, all of these different situations, they seem to have some kind of an idea of what that needs to be done. And again, on top of that, I think this was mentioned. Sorry, just wanted to mention that. I mean, for ages, for the last 2-3 seasons, one of the things that used to really frustrate me was every time we got a dead ball situation, whether it's corners, throw-ins, free kicks, we always seem to waste them. Like, when was the last time you remember, like, we would score maybe one goal from a corner once in a blue moon? Whereas now, it's like every time we get a corner, we seem dangerous. Every time we've got a throw in, you know, obviously Bergvall with his massive long throw ins, there, you know, we seem to be dangerous. And it's like we've become dangerous again from set pieces and things, which is great to see. That's what you want to see. You know?
Completely agree, Orchie, and that is very exciting for me because, like you just said there, we can be very dangerous out of nothing, out of just a throw on, which I think is excellent from Thomas Frank. And I must bore the hell out of whoever I sit next to at games, you know, home and away now, because I always say, and you've just touched on it there, in the technical area, you've got Thomas Frank, you've got Justin Cochran, you've got Andreas Georgeson, the set piece coach. You've also got Matt Wells, who is doing a grand job there. And it isn't just a manager, it is a management team. You're absolutely right. And they're all giving instructions constantly. And what I love about, you know, when a player is down injured, whether it be one of our players or the opposition, Thomas Frank is calling his players over all the time, giving instructions. I absolutely love this. And I think that he's going to get better and better under him. And I feel really optimistic under Thomas Frank, I must say. Orchie, you can talk a lot more because you're on the podcast after the Wolves game on Saturday. So we'll get a lot more insight from you then. Thanks so much for joining us, and always great to talk to you. And we'll talk to you Saturday.
Cheers. Thank you very much. Big love to you guys. Cheers.
Cheers, Orchie. Ta-da.
Right, we're now going to go to New York to talk to Terry. Jamie, we'll come to you next. Thanks so much for being so patient. Terry, hello. How are you?
I'm doing great. I want to see Craig's smile. Craig, how are you? Chris,
I don't do it for everybody, Terry, but because it's you, I will. All right.
Come on, smile, man. That's what I love about bringing Terry on. You just got this big smile. It's like Gary. You know, it's like Gary. You know, you just get these big smiles, and I love it when we bring guests on and everyone's smiling. It feels good. But it's we're all feeling good, aren't we?
We are. I have to give a quick shout out to Gary. It's been kind of a busy afternoon, and I heard his voice on here. I came on, not that I don't love you.
He wasn't even on the. He wasn't even using a microphone either. That's the thing with Gary.
Yeah. But then I saw his big smiling face, like, oh, I need to come on and say hi, and because it's good times. It's good times right now, right? So someone was mentioning something about it feeling low or having low points, or like, what was that all about? How can you feel low right now? Go on.
No, we were saying that there's you could definitely feel around the fan base across social media and that I wouldn't say it's low. It's not low. It's just quite flat and benign. And now what I was saying, I did a video on it earlier, you know, is that the calm before the storm, because we're kind of expecting things to go tits up at some point because that's what Tottenham do? Or is it the fact that I think there's a big element of this, that we've won a trophy now and that particular monkey's off our back, and it's kind of like, right, okay, we haven't got that. We must win something. I don't know.
Do you know what it is? I know what it is. Terry, Craig's got nothing to moan about.
That could be it. You know what it. You know what it could be. It feels just very safe. It feels safe under Thomas Frank, doesn't it? Like
safe.
That's a very good safe, yes.
Stellar kind of. There's this comfort going into the games. It's a, you know, I think there's been a lot of discussion about his comments after the game yesterday, in that he said that he thought that was our best performance. I think what he was trying to say, I mean, I personally think the Man City game was our best performance, but I think what he was saying is that it's a game where we were completely dominating in that first 10 minutes. The goal came completely against the run of play, because it looked like we were trying something different with that really high press. And that was a great counterattack by Minte in Brighton. And then to give up that second goal soon after that, but then to keep that momentum and to keep that press and that drive that whole game, and to mentality wise to come back from 2-0 down, even though we didn't get the win, which I thought we thoroughly deserved. I think that's why he's saying that was our best performance. And if that's what he meant, then I do agree with him on that.
Mentality is a big thing, Terry, isn't it? And, when you are 2-0 down, particularly at a ground like that, where recently we haven't done that well, and they've got a fantastic record against the top clubs, by the way, in the Premier League. And, to have that character to come back, I think Thomas Frank was very happy, and he was very proud to see the team playing that way. Javi Simmons, I know Craig asked another guest this earlier about Javi Simmons playing at number 10. It seems very, very exciting. I cannot wait to see more of him. Will he play on Wednesday? Is it the right decision to play him? Should he be in the squad? Should he be sitting at home?
Oh, I love that we have so many options at midfield now. It's impossible to tell who's going to play where. It's this Doncaster game's a bit tricky in that there are so many players like Archie Gray and Ben Davies and Danso that just need playing time, that I would like to see a lot of them play. But we've seen what happens when you make 7, 8, 9 changes in a game. In terms of Xavi, I mean, I'll leave it to Frank in terms of kind of where he thinks he would be best utilized. But how different did we look when he came in? I think he came in around the 60-minute mark. And he completely changed the complexion of the game. I think he had 3 shots within the first 10 minutes or so. And kind of thinking back to how painful this last summer transfer window was, him coming in right at the end, but him and Paulinho, my gosh, it's I gotta tell you, Paulinho is quickly becoming my favorite player on this current squad, if not my favorite player. It's exactly the type of player that we needed. I feel like I feel like if I could be a player, I'd want to be kind of that type of player. Not especially skilled, but just a lot of a will and kind of grit in there. I love that. I absolutely love that about him. What did he have 7 tackles yesterday? That's incredible.
Craig, I'm thinking Terry should have told us this a few weeks ago when we played in that tournament at Wolves. We needed a number 6, like Terry.
I think we needed a number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Terry, I'm going to ask you.
Well, hold on. Someone got injured in the warm-up, didn't they, Craig?
They did. We don't talk about that. Yeah.
Oh,
no.
Sorry, Craig.
No. I was gutted. Yeah, I pulled my calf in the warm up for the second game, so couldn't take part. I blame that's why we didn't do particularly well throughout the tournament after that, because I couldn't influence it. Anyway, look, people don't know about that. Terry, I'm going to ask you a question. Just yeah, I'm sure they do. That's another podcast entirely, I'm sure. Terry, I'm going to ask you a question. It's kind of Spurs related, but I am curious. I know you're over the other side of the States, but how is the public and the football community welcoming Heung-min Son to playing in America? How is he doing? Is there a lot of news about him over there? Because he got his first hat trick, of course, the other day. Is he going down well? I'm assuming he is. So
I watched the game last night. So they played the Salt Lake team for the second time. So he has a strike partner, this guy, Denny Buonga, who got a hat trick 3 games ago. Then Sonny got a hat trick, and then the guy. So in 7 games, Son has 6 goals and 2 assists. And I can't help but wonder, because where we are as Spurs, it's interesting that we feel so comfortable and feel so good when 2 of the 3 positions up top are in question in terms of our center forward and left wing. I couldn't help but think, oh gosh, how would Son have looked under Frank? I mean, granted, it's a completely different level of competition, but the amount of space that he has is crazy. But he's hitting some of these worldies again, and that smile is back on his face. So in terms of the reception for Craig, a couple games ago, he played one of the other California teams. It was the highest MLS attendance ever.
Oh,
Yesterday's
really?
game was sold out as well. I mean, you see him all over the talk shows, not the sports talk shows, just the regular talk shows about the impact that he's having.
Jimmy Kimmel and all that. Yeah, late was it
like
James
morning
Corden?
shows like
Yeah.
that? He's having a great time. I think this is one of those rare cases where it was just a great move for him, a great move for LAFC, and a great move for Spurs. It was like 3 for 3 in terms of the impact. So I think they're getting ready to get into the playoffs soon. If they're anywhere near here, I can't wait to see him. But the reception has been crazy. It's actually during the international break, Korea played the U.S. In my backyard, right here in New York, New Jersey. So we got to see him pretty up close. He scored a nice goal right in front of us. My mom was going crazy, so being able to see him in person. So it was really, really fun. But he's had just a tremendous. I mean, he's absolutely tearing up the league right now. Absolutely. Yeah.
Well,
Brilliant.
whilst you were talking about Son there, Terry, you actually got Craig to smile. So, brownie point for you.
Hey, Craig, I'm curious. Who do you have on the back of your on the back of your jersey there? Whose name's on that?
I haven't had name on the back of my shirt since Ginola. I think that was the
okay.
last one I had. Yeah, I don't get names on the backs of my shirts, but
Okay.
if I did, it would have been. I don't know when it wouldn't this season, but certainly the last 10 seasons probably would have been number 7 and Son on the back, definitely. So yeah.
I mean, there's so many of those. I mean, in England, and so many here as well. Like, I do want to get one of those black kits, and it's going to be the Polina 6 for me. I got that guy. That guy. I'm loving that. I saw the news today from you, Chris, that we were thinking about giving him a permanent contract. I really hope that's the case. I would love to tie him down. I don't care that what is he, 31 or 32? I could see him playing that role in a really, really solidly for the next 3 years or so. It's because it's not like he's running completely up and down constantly, but my gosh, he is a rock, huh? He is the rock. I love that about him.
Yeah, I said the same earlier. £26 million, I think, would be money well spent. And I agree with you, Terry. He's becoming one of my favourites as well. Brilliant so far this season. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll talk to you soon.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys. Great seeing you.
Cheers. Have a good day.
Thanks, Terry.
Bye.
Take care.
I just realised I said have a good day to an American. Never mind.
They have a nice day. Yeah. I don't think they say that. We'll have to ask Jim when he comes on. I don't know. All Americans say that? I don't know.
All right. Right. Jamie, how are you?
I'm all right, guys. How are you doing?
Is it have a great day or have a nice day? What is it?
Have a good one.
Craig just about smiled, let alone says to people have a great day. Jamie, how are you feeling right now?
Yeah, I've got to be honest with you, Chris. It's the second show in a row I'm coming on, and I've got to be positive. I've got nothing really to moan about, you know. I think Kudus, what a player he's turning into, you know. He's so strong. He gets you off the edge of his seat. He's what we need, you know. Bergvall, I know people are talking about their favourite players. He's fast becoming my favourite player. The energy he has, and he's just the attitude, and he's got quality. And I think what he could be in 3 or 4 years is quite frightening, really. Thomas Frank, got nothing to make. I think he's exactly what we need. He's steadying the ship. You got to think we didn't just need stitching up. We come 17th last year. We needed major surgery, and he's calmed it right down, you know, in a short space of time. So. Yeah, all good, really.
What's he going to prioritise? I know we spoke about that earlier, Jamie. Is this squad in a position where we can be competitive on all fronts, or are we still a bit short there?
I still think we're short on the left wing. I do. I think Tell, Odebert, he might be good, but Tell, Johnson, I'm just not fans of him. I think if we could get a top left winger, because it's quite evident that Simmons looks better in the 10. You know, I like Bergvall in the 10, but I think he might have to play a bit deeper to get Simmons in the 10 and let him, you know, show what we signed him for. But yeah, I think just up top, and a number 9, I think like Solanke. I quite like Solanke. Like I think we've missed him, but whether he scores enough goals, I'm not sure. But Richarlison, we'll have to see on the new bloke. But yeah, I still think we're a little bit short to fight on all fronts. But I just hope against Doncaster he doesn't make too many changes, because there's no extra time in that, is there? We need to get the job done. I think maybe 2 or 3 changes and then bring the other ones on. Give them a go, because before you know it, if you struggle to break them down, before you know it, it's a penalty shootout, isn't it? And then it's anyone's. But I just think we need to get the job done first.
Well, Jamie, talking about the Doncaster game on Wednesday, Doncaster boss Grant McCann, ahead of this clash, has urged his players to enjoy the occasion, but says the focus remains on winning on the night. Now, Doncaster Free Press have reported today that Damola Ajayi, of course, Spurs youngster, currently on loan at Doncaster, is set to be allowed to feature against Spurs whilst playing on loan at Doncaster. What team do you want to see if you had the choice? Your starting 11 against Doncaster, because we've already mentioned games are coming thick and fast. Crazy schedule, because of course we face Doncaster on Wednesday. We're then back at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium against Wolves on Saturday night, and then Tuesday night we're playing Bodo Glimt away in Norway. It's a tough schedule, so he's got to rotate. I know a lot of people have kind of had a bit of a whinge and a moan when Tell started against West Ham. Of course, he made changes against Brighton, but we have to make changes. So if you had the choice, your starting 11 against Doncaster, what's the best thing to do?
I think I'd keep it pretty similar to what we have been. I think I'd give Kinski a go in goal, because I think he needs a run out. I think I'd bring Danzo in, because to be fair, whenever he's played, I think he's done well. I think I'd just give Van der Ven a rest on them hamstrings, because the last thing you want is them going. But yeah, maybe bring one more in. Maybe give Johnson a go from the start. But I wouldn't make too many changes. And if we go a couple up, then I'll start bringing them on. Get the job done, because don't get me wrong, I expect to beat Doncaster, but the longer it goes on, if we haven't scored, there's no extra time. Normally, the Premier League team in extra time, the fitness shows and all that, but there's not you haven't got that. It goes straight into penalties. So I think get the job done, and then bring the players on. The strong players.
What do you think of the youth system at the moment? Because we've got 16-year-old Luca Williams-Barnett just scored a hat-trick for the under-21s. And now I remember a player like Oliver Skipp, for example. I remember him as a 17-year-old going into the under-21s. Jamie, he was the best player on the pitch by a country mile. Now, Luca Williams-Barnett is very similar at the moment. He's 16, playing in under-21s. He needs that extra challenge, I feel. Is it too soon to be putting in a 16-year-old, or should he be on the bench? You've got players like Tell, who are not in the Champions League squad, so should he be starting a game like this? Should Wilson Odobert be starting a game like this? Actually, Craig, let me ask you about Williams-Barnett as well. 16 years old. Does it matter about how old a player is? Because you've seen players like Wayne Rooney come into the Premier League, being very young, and they embrace these opportunities.
Yeah, if you're good enough, you're old enough. I don't know what way around that saying normally goes, but I think he's. Why not just throw him in? Whether you throw him in from the start, I don't know. Whether you give him half hour at the end, but I definitely think he deserves a run out. He deserves a go. Hat trick, as you say, the other night. Smaller frame, so he's not developed physically, I would say, yet. But Messi's never been the biggest. There's been smaller players in a lot of clubs that can still do a job. So he's doing well. He's doing well, and I think he's earned. This could be the perfect game for him. Is what I'm getting at. This could be the perfect game. Now, there are other. While I don't think you should probably start him, there's other players that are in that first team squad that haven't had many minutes that probably need those minutes, and would be asking Frank questions. Well, why have you put this kid in when I've been working my butt off? That's one for Thomas Frank to sort out. But I certainly think that he and possibly another couple of youngsters may well get in that squad and hopefully get some minutes. Hopefully we're in a strong enough position on Wednesday to be able to do that. So yeah, looking forward to that. And let's get 3 goals up and throw these kids on.
Jamie, how important is the youth system for you? And I was at the Villarreal under-19 game, in the afternoon prior to the main game in the Champions League, and all of Thomas Frank's coaching staff were there watching the under-19 game. We were told by Daniel Levy and the board when Ange Postecoglou came in that it was a big deal for Ange Postecoglou to be using the youth system. I feel like he was forced into putting a number of those youth players in because of the amount of injuries that we had, not necessarily through choice. And I've said this, the last couple of years, the under-21s, where we've won many trophies, by the way, and it's probably one of the best youth systems I've ever seen, but we didn't really utilise or use a lot of those players as we probably should have done. Thomas Frank's spoken a little bit about the youth system and the academy. Do you think that we will start seeing players coming through? And like Craig touched on there, you've got players like Tell, who are not in the Champions League squad, that are going to kind of demand to be playing in these games. But of course, they've got to grab their opportunity as well.
Yeah, it's one thing that winds me up, Chris, to be honest with you. We all want to sign quality players, but when you sign, I don't want to keep using Tell as an example, but to me, limited football player, I don't think he's only young, so you don't want to hammer him too much, but he looks average. They're blocking the paths of some of these youngsters. I mean, I would rather see the likes of Donnelly, I wanted more to go out on loan. I think it would be good for him, but Devine, great goal the weekend, I'd rather see him come on in the cup,
Yeah.
And, I don't see the point in signing like the Japanese centre half. I don't know much about him, but is it Dorrington's gone up to Aberdeen? I think it is.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah.
Why not? I'd rather see these players get a go, unless these players are exceptional that you bring it in, but a lot of times they're not.
Yeah. Jamie, great to talk to you, and great to meet you in person the other day at the stadium. Thanks for saying hello, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, cheers, Chris. I'll see you, Craig. See you, mate.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, Jamie.
Actually, before we go to our next guest, let me ask you about those the past weekend, Craig. The goals. Tyrese Hall was on the score sheet, scoring a brace for Notts County, as Jamie mentioned there. Alfie Devine, what a goal for Preston!
Yeah, that was an absolute cracker. If you haven't seen it, go and watch it. It's on YouTube, I'm sure, somewhere. They're doing well. The couple, Jamie Donnelly and Phillips doesn't seem to be going as well as that could do for them guys, which is a shame because Jamie Donnelly, although he couldn't really get into the Leyton Orient team last year, but then became a bit of a stalwart in the side, didn't he? So I'd like to see those two, especially Jamie, get more minutes. But yeah, as you say, there was a glut of goals. Then Luka Vuskovic, of course, if you haven't seen his goal, it was an absolute thunderbolt. Might have broken his finger in the process. Well, slightly before that, I think it was, where he punched the post or something, didn't he? But yeah, some really good goals from our loanees over the weekend.
And also George Abbott for Wickham. That was a great goal as well. So yeah, do look out for those. And we do week by week put up loan updates, keeping everyone informed about our loan players. We're now going to go all the way to Canada to talk to John. John, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing fine, thank you. Doing fine.
Great to have you on. Great to have you on, John. How are you? How are you feeling about Spurs right now? Smiling?
I'm smiling. I'm at an exchange there with Craig this morning, and his wonderful thought for the day. It fills up my breakfast time.
Are you saying in a nice way that he's been a bit miserable?
No, he's not. He's.
You always stick up for him. You always stick up for him.
Of course I do. He's there. He's my breakfast time.
Top man.
I think we just need a little boost here, just to raise the morale. Doncaster's important. We've got to take them apart.
Yep.
And we've got to give the guys a game. I mean, I wrote down about 6 players here that I think need to go out and have a run and show us what.
Who are they?
I got Danso Johnson, the Czech goalkeeper. You will forgive my 78-year-old brain forgetting his name. Gray has got to have a game. Sorry, Kinski, is it? Yes, sorry.
Kinski, yeah.
Yeah, Tell, put him up front. I start Destiny at left back. and go with those. That sort of, and then fill up with the shall we say the greater players, shall we say, for the want of a better definition. And we've got to go out there and take Doncaster apart, and then regroup for Saturday, and really take it to Wolves, because Wolves have lost 5.
Yeah.
I mean, they got a defence like a sieve, and we've got to, if we can get 5 or 6 goals against them in a good victory, we can go above the rotten Arsenal, right? She's behind me. It's all right. She's laughing. It's all right. I'm married to a gooner, and but we that's what we need to do. And I think if we do that, a lot of the morale amongst the fans will go up. We're feeling an awful lot better about ourselves. As I said to Craig, I'm like Pavlov's dog. I'm waiting for the second boot to fall of something, and the bottom will fall out of our life. And that's what I think we need to do.
You see, we're on the same page, John. I like that. That's that. Yeah. I did like that comment. I do agree with that. It's weird though, isn't it, being a Tottenham fan? Yeah, but it does make me wonder if other clubs' fans are the same, or whether we're quite unique as Tottenham fans, that you kind of just, I'm happy, everything's going well, it can't last. Is it always been like that, being a Tottenham fan?
I think post Bill Nicholson it was.
Right.
I think okay, we've had seasons there where we've stormed away and won a cup, and we feel good about ourselves. We need a good league run, and we need some. We got this trophy, where the euphoria from that trophy in May or June, wherever it was, is starting to diminish. It's starting to disappear in the rearview mirror of our lives, and we need to go forward and have something on a week. Get up on a Saturday and say, "Here, we're going to stuff it to Wolves today," and feel with a degree of confidence we're going to do it. And I think we need a few extra wins and things to put us there.
And do you feel like that, John? Because I'm sitting here thinking that we're going to win both games, feeling confident we're going to win both games this week at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. 2 clean sheets, 2 or 3 goals in each game. And we're going to be going through to the 4th round of the Carabao Cup. Another 3 points at the Tottenham Stadium on Saturday. Are you feeling optimistic like me?
Yeah, I feel we can do it. But the players have got to show us that. Right? It's all well and good the fans feeling that. How often have we felt? I mean, we went to Brighton on Saturday, I sure, with a ton of confidence. And then we were licking our wounds after, 18 minutes. And, although they recovered it and a year or 2 back, we would have lost that game. We got a point. Fair enough. We shouldn't have been in that position. That needs to be, we need that grind out confidence to go into the game.
Yeah. Do you know I can't believe we're over an hour and 20 in, and we've done no score predictions at all tonight. I'm going to start it off. I'm going to say that we're going to beat Doncaster 3-0. I'm going to say we're going to beat Wolves 2-0. Craig, what are you going to go for?
I'm going to go 4-0 Doncaster and 2-0 to us against Wolves.
So, goals and clean sheets again. John, what are you going to go for?
Well, we beat Doncaster, I think, 5-1 at Doncaster last time we played them. That's 10 years ago. So let's hope we can maintain that. And I'll go 2-0 against Wolves.
Brilliant. John, always great to talk to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for keeping me abreast of things. Thank you, Craig, for the breakfast cereal.
No worries, John. No worries.
Take care, guys. Money go. Thanks a lot.
See you later.
Cheers, John. Thank you. See, John just said he's 78, and you two are so on the same wavelength. It means you've got the mind of a 78-year-old.
Oh, no, it could mean that John's got the mind of a 52-year-old, see? I think that's more like it.
All right. All right. Right. Let's go to Linton in South Africa. We haven't spoke to Linton in a while. Linton, how are you?
Chris, I'm good, thank you. And you?
Yeah, very good, thank you. Thanks so much for coming on. How are you feeling right now as a Spurs fan? Pretty happy?
Very happy, yes. Yeah, it's been a good start so far. I think we've done well. Unfortunate about the defeat against Bournemouth, but, that's going to happen. And, the thing is, I like Thomas Frank because I like his press conferences because he's very open, he's very honest in what he does. And, he admitted that he got it wrong in that game, and that is going to happen from time to time. But on the whole, yeah, it's been very positive.
Does it feel different to you than under Ange, Linton? Are you a bit more calm, would you say, having Thomas Frank at the helm? Was Ange, harping back to what I was talking about earlier, perhaps that's why the excitement isn't there, because Thomas Frank just seems more calm and everybody feels like it's a bit more softer and being cuddled a bit more rather than this, like, you're always on edge with Ange Ball.
Craig, you said it's calm, but it's also, that it's not that high-risk football the whole time, that high-intensity, high-risk football. So that the tactics are gonna vary based on the opponent. So it's, I just feel that the preparation seems to be better under Thomas Frank, and then just there's that calmness on the touchline as well. It's been spoken about earlier, and I like his demeanor on the touchline, the way he's continuously consulting with his staff, checking the iPad, and the whole time he's always abreast of matters, and he's always changing things as the game progresses. So that also just gives you that sense of calm, that sense of ease. And yeah, his coaching team seem very, very involved as well in the game. You often see Justin Cochran, you see Matty Wells. Those guys seem to be very involved in the game, which is good.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you just feel he can make changes on the fly as well.
Yeah. Linton, on Match of the Day here in England on Saturday evening, Danny Murphy talking about the 2-2 draw at Brighton. He said this Tottenham team are so fit and are so well organised. Mohamed Kudus was outstanding again, causing all sorts of problems. How impressed have you been by Mohamed Kudus? Because I've got to say he's been one of our standout players, in my opinion, so far this season, and I think there's so much more to come from him.
He has. He's been great all season, and he's not afraid to take on a man and get that cross in. So he really has been. I was sort of 50-50 about him because he didn't have a great season at West Ham last year, but he just seems to be. It's like moving to Spurs. He's got a new lease on life, and he just seems to be hungry to play and to get on the park and to perform. And he. Like I say, it's great to see a winger who's not afraid to take on his man, and more often than not beat him. And then, if he does lose the ball, he's quickly back in defence. He's trying to win that ball back, and he really has been super impressive.
What other positions do we need to strengthen in Linton you'd assume the January transfer window? Do you think we did enough in the summer, or do you think I personally think we're a couple of players light still? What positions do you think they're going to target in the January transfer window?
I think they're definitely going to look for a left winger. Left wing is definitely where we're coming short up front. Personally, this is my personal opinion. I'd like a striker, really, somebody that's. Look, I'm looking forward to Solanke coming back, but I do think, he has been injury prone since he's been with us. So we've spoken about Richarlison already tonight. So I don't rate Richarlison, but I'd like a striker, and then obviously just maybe another central defender. But I don't know if we're going to get all in January. We might get two in January.
Linton, lastly, let me ask you about Rodrigo Bentancur. He is a player that always gets very mixed reviews. I see a lot of love for him, but I also see a lot of fans saying that he needs to give more, he needs to do more. What have you made of him in a Spurs shirt since he joined, and especially this season so far?
when he started, he was really impressive. And then last season, for me, he really had a slump. But I think him and Paulinho seem to combine pretty well as a double pivot. But for me, he's not a 90-minute player. So, he's the kind of guy that you maybe want to give him 60 minutes and tell him to run his legs off for 60 minutes and give it all, and then maybe sub him after that. But yeah, he's just he does seem to blow hot and cold. He's not consistent enough. I don't think. If you look at, I mentioned in Paulinho, I mean, he gives us everything for every minute that he's on the pitch, and that's what we need in the Premier League. You can't have passengers. You can't have guys even slacking for 10 or 15 minutes. They have to give their all while they're on the pitch. The intensity is so high. So so he doesn't give enough for long enough. I don't think. There's times he goes missing in a game. He's not. He needs to be more consistent.
Yeah, like I said earlier, I think that Thomas Frank will get that consistency out of a lot of players, certainly this season and beyond. Linton, great to talk to you again. Hopefully we can get you back on the podcast again very soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Cheers, Linton.
We're now going to stay in the UK. We're going to go to our good friend, Si the Fox. Si, good evening to you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Can you hear me, guys?
Perfectly well. I wanted to come to you on this exact point. I haven't got
sound from you, boys.
Okay, we'll come back to you. Right, Craig, I'm going to come to you on this. Ange Postecoglou has said that he has been surrounded by negativity since arriving in the Premier League. He's come out and said, I have no idea why. I am likeable. There's been a negativity around my arrival since I came to the Premier League, but it's a curious study in human nature as to why that is the case. I came from Scotland, and I get there's not a great deal of respect given to the game up there. But my first year at Tottenham, I went to a club that finished in 8th place in the Premier League table. They lost their greatest ever player in Harry Kane, and I got them 5th, playing my style of football. It would have got them Champions League football any other year. But unfortunately, my first year I had somehow now doesn't exist. All that shows was that I finished in a poor position last year. There's 22 league defeats, and my football doesn't work. Now, I know some people, when I read this out on a Tottenham News episode in the last couple of days, some people said, why do you keep mentioning Ange Postecoglou? But I feel like there is a lot of disrespect towards Ange Postecoglou, given that he is only the 3rd manager in our entire history to guide us to a European trophy. I do feel there is a lot of disrespect. Is Ange right to come out and say these things?
I think you're right. As you know, I was an Ange fan. I've said before, I can see the logic why the club got rid of him now. But I still maintain, and I'll say whatever happens this season, he deserved another crack at the whip at Tottenham. He does get a fair bit of flack. He does, unfairly, in my opinion, and he is right. Finishing 5th the following year. I mean, even that season, had our clubs done a bit better in Europe, we would have got that 5th place spot. We would have been in the Champions League. But on the flip side of the coin, of course, we wouldn't have won Europa League last year. So he swings and roundabouts. But he hasn't got off to the best start. Let's face it, at Forest, has he? So he's probably hurting a bit from that. And I'm not sure Ange is going to work at Forest with the players they've got. So it will be very interesting to see if he changes.
So hopefully you can hear us now.
All good.
I wanted to ask you about the Ange Postecoglou comments that he come out with, saying that his first season at Spurs kind of is forgotten about his football. What do you make of the comments that he come out with?
I think he's spot on. I think he's disrespected across the board. What he did achieve at Spurs is something that more illustrious managers that came before him couldn't do. So I think he's within his rights to say that he took the team from 8th to 5th. He won us a cup. The league wasn't as good as it could have been last year. But, as per Linton said and Craig said, we're always too short Tottenham, and I think he was short of players of quality. I mean, that last summer he had, what did he have? One senior player added to the squad? That was never going to cut it. So for me, I think he's right to say what he did, and I'm slightly different at Forest. I think he has got the tools to do something there, but I think it will work the other way around with Forest. I think his first season won't be as good, but I think his second season will be better.
Did he tell you to say that?
No, mate, no. No, but that's just what I think. I think Spurs was the anomaly insofar as it clicked so quickly in the first season. But you know, if you go back and look at his history, it does get better in the second season. And like I said, you know, going into Forest, he didn't have the pre-season. And also, I would suggest that some of the signings Forest made were having him in mind that, you know, he could come in at some point. You know, I just think it was all set up for him to take over there at some point this season if Nuno didn't cut it. And that just came, you know, because of the way Nuno behaved towards the big chap.
Marinakis, yeah. I actually speak about him. I know this is slightly off topic, but I'm not sure he's going to give Ange time, though. If he doesn't do particularly well this season, could Ange be on the chopping block again? And, you know, you can get more polar opposites than Nuno and Ange. And, of course, Nuno's now linked with West Ham United. Should they ditch Graham Potter? So it's that merry-go-round, and it's mental.
It just is.
He loves that though, Craig. He thrives on people doubting him doing well and winning things, because I know he's gone in there and he's lost his first 3 games, but he will turn it around and he will get results.
Definitely. If any Spurs fans have got any sense, go and back him to win a trophy next season with Nottingham Forest, and you'll earn yourself a few quid out of him as well as having a trophy on him. So pick this one you want.
Craig, before you come in with your question, I just wanted to ask both of you this, because this news broke just before we went live this evening from the Sun newspaper. Former Tottenham Hotspur chief Fabio Paratici has been slapped with an 18-month suspended prison sentence after Juventus scandal. It is unclear at this stage whether Fabio Paratici would be allowed to return to the Premier League. Former Juventus president Andrea Agnelli accepted a 20-month suspended sentence, and Pavel Nedved has signed up for a suspension of 14 months. What do you make of this news?
Well, if you want me to go, or do you want to go, Craig, or me? Go on, mate.
Go on. All right, just be very, very quick. Surprising, actually, because I thought he was. I thought that was all done and dusted, to be honest with you. So it shows what I know, but. I suppose the question you're asking is, should he come back to Spurs if there's a position available for him?
Well, we know that he is constantly at Spurs. I actually spoke to him the other night, our last game, and had a very quick conversation with him. And he's always there. He's always around. But a number of Spurs fans wanted to see him given a permanent position at the club, but having been banned and now having this suspended sentence, should Spurs give him a permanent role, I suppose, should be the question.
I wouldn't have a problem with him coming back at all. Whether that be morally or not. I mean, if there's anything. You wouldn't be able to employ him if it's illegal to employ him, if that makes sense. I don't think that should come into it. If he's doing a job and Spurs think he can do a job, then why not hire him? But now Daniel Levy's gone, I'm not sure that job's still going to be there, because it seemed to be Daniel Levy that the one he was closest with, and Levy was an admirer of his. So I'm not sure it would happen now. But who knows? Who knows? What do you think, Si?
Well, I think there's one of two things here. Spurs could still have him as a consultant, couldn't they? I think, you know, as a public company, or private company, but's looking for public investment or investment from a third party, how does it look if you've got a convicted person sitting as one of your director of football? And then also, I think that companies' house law might have a look at him and say, well, you've been convicted of fraud, effectively, which is what it is. Was a civil case in Italy. It wasn't a public case. It was a civil case, and it's just how that looks now. If if I put my business head on, would I put him into a director's role at the moment until his suspended sentence is over? No, I wouldn't, because I think it's just the wrong look. But I would keep him on as a consultant and having him do what he's done for the past, was it 18 months since his other ban was served. But I think it wouldn't be a good look for investors. Is kind of my take on it.
Mm. So, of course, it is another very busy week at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. We're hosting Doncaster on Wednesday, hosting Wolves on Saturday. In terms of team selection, how many changes would you like to see? Because I know a lot of us say, it'd be great to give youth players the opportunity. It'd be great to give players like Tell game time, etc. It's all well and good when you give players game time, they take their opportunities, and most importantly, we get the result. If that we've seen in the past Ange Postecoglou make a number of changes in League Cup competition. We've also seen the likes of Pochettino, Conte, Jose Mourinho make a lot of changes in cup competitions like this, in games like this. When it has gone pear-shaped and we haven't won, a lot of us will then say, we should have gone at full strength, we should have done this, we should have done that. What is the right thing to do in order to win the game against Doncaster comfortably, give players game time, and then, of course, most importantly, get another 3 points on Saturday? What's the right thing to do here?
Well, you've got to look at the bigger picture, because we've got, after the Saturday evening game, we've then got Voodoo on I think it's the Tuesday night. So you've got to look at it.
That's right, yeah,
across the board. So for me, what you really want to win the Premier League game. And for me, if you're saying that we've got a squad and those squad players aren't good enough to win a game against Doncaster, I have a bit of a problem with that, because my question would then be, what are they doing in our squad? So I think you have to rotate, and you've got to give players game time. I mean, if Kolo Muani is fit, he should get a run. I think Tell should get a run. Johnson should get a run. And then if you go to the midfielders, well, Pap didn't play at the weekend. Are you going to play him against Wolves on Saturday? If you're not going to play him against Wolves, then give Archie Gray a game, so on and so forth. You've got to look at each position and each player on its merit. Would I be horrified at a centre-back pairing of Danso and Davis against Doncaster? No. But for me, if you want these players match ready in case you get injuries and in case people are out from playing, then you have to give them games in this cup. And look, for goodness sake, if our squad isn't capable of beating Doncaster, then for me, I think there's a big flaw in the squad. So I kind of take that view to it. Sprinkle in a couple of the youngsters, a little bit of stardust if you want on the bench, and should we be ahead, let them have their run out at the home stadium and kind of bring them in that way. But as I said, Kinski for me has got to play and goal. You've got to have those players match ready, because otherwise, when are they going to get any time? Then you're throwing them in without any, proper game time in them and match awareness, etc. So I think you have to rotate for me.
Craig, let me ask you very quickly. Sorry, I just wanted to ask you, Craig. If you were to choose the starting 11, I know you've spoken about youth players and development players, but if you were to choose the starting 11, would you go pretty strong as well?
I'd go a mixture, to be honest with you. I think Danso should come in, to be honest, but partner with perhaps Romero or Van der Ven. I think Porro needs a rest, so I'd go with Spence. Still play Doggy on the left. I would probably play Gray in the 6th, Sarr, and I would give Javi Simmons a run in the 10, seeing as he didn't play the full game at the weekend. Brennan Johnson doesn't look like Solanke's going to be fit I don't think so. Probably go with Tell up front, and then possibly Odebear, but may well go with Kudos actually. But hopefully take Kudos off after the hour. So
I think Kudos doesn't need to play this game, and I think for me, if you with this competition, unless you get into the a tough quarterfinal or a semi-final stage, I'd give him, because otherwise, when are you going to rest him? And that's my thing with him. Where we've been one light. Again, just my opinion. You got to rotate them around, and also none of us know if Moani's going to be fit, because obviously that would have an impact on the front line.
Oh yeah, I forgot him actually, because I just assumed he wouldn't be ready. But I think Frank said he hopes he's going to recover from the dead leg. So if he's fit, I would start Moani. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And you're right about Kudos. So before you go, give us a score prediction for Wednesday and Saturday against Wolves.
I think Wednesday 2-3-0 to Spurs. Then we come to the other one, Wolves. My goodness me, where do I go with Wolves?
We do not want to hear Spursy or Dr. Tottenham. We all we want to hear, Si, all we want to hear is we're winning.
All right then. I'll go for
say what you feel. Don't say what you want me to hear. Say what you feel.
I generally, every time we play Wolves, I think we should win, but we don't. So. It's like I'm kind of torn. So let's be positive. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win at home on Saturday. And I think 2 or 3-0 tomorrow. And also, I think we'll win away in Bodo as well. Probably 2-0 away. I would expect that. I think we're good enough to do all of that.
I love it. I love it when people like you, Si, come on and go, we're winning that one, and we're winning the next one.
Yeah, but you got to believe, haven't you? You got to have faith, brother. Got to have faith. And also, can I just say, anybody listening, please vote for Chris in the Football Contents Awards, and also all of us, if we can support young Harry Scarf as well, wouldn't that be great if we can get him over the line with a top 3 podium finish in that? It would be lovely. And I was lucky enough to be on with him. He's a lovely lad, and if we can support him, I think that'd be really good. But for you, Chris, for all you do for the Spurs fans, my goodness, people should support you. So keep up the good work, mate.
Thank you. As I said to Gary, it's us. We are as one channel, all of us. So it's not just about me. There's so many people that give up. Craig gives up so much of his time, particularly of how much banter and grief he gets from me. So
can I just ask one thing? Because I haven't spoken to you since. How did he go in the centre forward role up at Wolverhampton?
Oh, don't ask. He got injured in the warm up. He was a nightmare. But I'll let him tell you about that. He's still hobbling about now, expecting the wife to get his drinks and get his meals on the sofa.
So you didn't get to see his silky skills in the night.
All this talk. No. Do you know all this talk of Craig saying what a great striker he is, and he gets injured in the warm up, and we had all these people wanting to put videos out of Craig's super strikes, top corner goals, etc. It just didn't happen, mate.
The thing is, Si, I played the first half of the first game, and I thought I'll take myself off because I want to ease yourself in slowly. So we lost that game 1-0, and then we had a 4-game break between our first game and the next game, which is over an hour, right?
Excuses. Cool down. Excuses. he eased himself in so much. He'll have to be playing next year's tournament. So
let me just tell you, right? This really did make me laugh. Right? Obviously, I was aching after 7 minutes, like the next day, and obviously I pulled my calf. My knee was like swollen up, right? And Chris, I spoke to Chris, bearing in mind Chris was in goal, right? He couldn't walk up the steps at Villa Park to watch England, and they were right at the top. He said he was knackered. So,
well, because some people had to do more work in the team because others let the other team members down. So what more can I say?
Yeah, well, I'm guilty of that, mate, but there we go. All right, guys, bless you.
I weren't talking about you, I was talking about him.
No, but anyway, I've penciled it in for next year already.
I haven't. Right, speak to you soon. Speak to you soon.
Still looking forward to your videos, Si. You're supposed to be doing videos, isn't you? The odd
Yeah,
videos.
I will catch up now. It's been really busy with the band, but now we're clear of that. Festival season's over, so I'll be on the case now.
See, this is the driving force. See, I get all the credit, but it's actually Craig. Craig's always putting the timer up and putting the pictures up and doing this and doing that. I know I get a lot of the credit, but I know I do banter Craig a lot, but he does a lot for this channel.
No, he does, mate. Absolutely. All brilliant stuff.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
So I speak to you soon. Thank you. Right. We're now going to go to Jim in the US. Jim, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm feeling good. I'm optimistic, and I'm looking forward to the upcoming games because they are all winnable games in the near future. So what I'd really like to do is take a couple minutes and talk about Richarlison, because I was watching the Spurs Chat podcast the other day, and it's sort of like a lot of people weren't giving him enough credit, I don't think. And so what I did, sorry.
The other way.
What I did is I went back and rewatched the entire game and check on things Richie did. And, his passing was good. His pressing was good. His work rate was good. But I want to talk briefly about his shots at goal, because they were better than you think. In the 25th minute, he got that long direct ball. I forget whether it was from Mickey or Cutie, but he brought it under control expertly in spite of two defenders nearby. And to take it away from the defenders, he had to put it on his left foot, but that didn't stop him from shooting. And he missed wide, but he had good power on it. It was not sky high. It would have gone under the crossbar, and it was only a couple feet wide. So it was a pretty good effort. In the 41st minute, he got across from Bediker and shot immediately, but the shot was blocked. It would have been on target, but it was blocked out for a corner. So we got a corner out of it. In the 42nd minute, he was at the back post on a corner kick, and he got a header off, despite the fact that Lewis Dunk was charging ahead him full speed while he was getting the header off. And it went wide, but not horribly wide, just a yard or so. And in the 43rd minute, he scored his goal. He did what strikers are supposed to do. He positioned himself in a pocket of space in front of the goal. When Kudus's cross or shot, whatever it was, came at him, it came at him fast, and he reacted quickly. And the shot he took was more difficult than it looked, because Lewis Dunk reacted quickly too. And Lewis Dunk was lunging at him in a desperate attempt to block the shot. And if Richie had aimed it away from the goalkeeper, it would have gone at Dunk, and Dunk would have blocked the shot. And so instead, Richie aimed it away from Dunk and lifted it over the goalkeeper with enough power that the keeper's hand couldn't stop it. And then in the 81st minute, he had that nice pass from Xavi Simons. He took a touch or two to sort out his feet, and he got a shot off on goal, headed for the corner of the goal. And he should have put more power on it, but it was on target. It was at the corner of the goal, and the goalkeeper had to dive to save it. So 5 attempts on goal, 2 misses, but not wild misses. They weren't anywhere near as bad as the one Xavi Simons missed or the one Odebert missed. One was blocked that would have been on target. One was saved by the keeper, and one got us back into the game and gave us hope. Strikers take shots. That's what they're supposed to do. They miss a lot more shots than the average player because they take more shots than the average player. Last year, there were too many games where Tottenham players were reluctant to pull the trigger on a shot. Not Richie. He's a true striker, and I still maintain that if he stays healthy, he's going to score 20-plus goals this season. So, the misses were disappointing. The overall result was disappointing. But I agree with Thomas Frank. We did have an overall good performance that game. So that's my little plug for Richie here.
Well, I suppose Craig should take that, because I think you're meaning that Craig give him a huge
It wasn't just Craig. It wasn't.
No, it wasn't. No, it was. I don't want to throw Kate under the bus here,
but Craig, you have said this about Richie for the last few years, not just on Saturday.
No, I have. Yeah, I'm not going to deny that. I've always said, caveat that with, I love Richie's work rate. I love his passion and everything about him. You could never ever doubt that about Richarlison. I remember when he joined, I didn't ever like Richarlison when he was at Everton. He was just one of those players that just annoyed you. But I remember Rob Guest actually said to Ali Gold on a podcast that when he's at your club, you will love him, and that kind of came to fruition when he did join. When the first few games, you could see he had that sort of S-housery about him. We all know when he was doing those kick-ups in that game, and I can't remember what it was, and somebody went through him completely, and he won us a free kick. Love that, and I will always love that. Nottingham Forest. I knew you'd know, you geek. Yeah, he's good at that. He's good at that. But personally, I just don't think he's at that level. I get everything Jim said there, and yet I agree with some of it. But I personally don't think he's at the level. I just don't see him. I just don't see him doing it for Tottenham well enough and scoring enough goals. His maximum goal return in the Premier League, as far as I'm aware, is 13, and I don't think he's got it in him to score 20. But I would love it if he proved me wrong.
Jim, let me ask you finally about this coming week, because it's fair to say we do have games coming thick and fast. In the next 7 days, of course, we face Doncaster, then we've got Wolves on Saturday, and then a week today, on Tuesday, we've got Bodo away. So, another very busy week, 3 different competitions. Thomas Frank has got to rotate players. How would you like to see him set up for Wednesday's game?
For Wednesday, if it were me, I would have Johnson on the right wing. I would have Tell starting either at striker or left wing, and possibly Dane Scarlett if you believe he's worked hard enough to earn a start, or either Odegaard on the left, Tell at center. I would have Simmons, Sarr, and Gray in midfield. I would have Spence and either Porro or Udogie at the fullbacks, and I would try to get Danso and Davis at least sometime, even if you don't start them. And yeah, I would play Kinski because, as I think it was Sai who said, you want him sharp if he ever does need to come in. You don't want him to have to come into a game not having played a competitive match since last season. So that's what I would do on Wednesday.
That's a strong lineup still, isn't it, Craig? But you would think that the lineup that Jim's gone with there, you should have enough quality to get the job done.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. You should have more than enough there to get the job done. With all due respect to Doncaster, and the funny thing is, I bet Doncaster bring more fans to the game on Wednesday than Villarreal did. I mean, that was bizarre. 220 fans. I mean, Villarreal ain't a small club, are they? But 220 fans. That was mental. Yeah. But it should be more than strong enough to get the job done. Yeah.
Jim, thank you as always for joining us, and we'll hopefully talk to you very soon.
I hope so too. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs, indeed.
Cheers, Jim.
Right, we're now going to go to Charlie. Charlie, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you, Craig?
I'm all right. You good?
Yeah, I'm fine. I've got a nice custom Tottenham kit, Jaws on. Still very happy about the Europa League, but I still think about the Super Cup every night and what could have been. I wanted to come on tonight to just speak about Tottenham, really. I haven't been on in a while. A lot's happened. Obviously, Levy's gone. And yeah, we're playing good football, You're talking about how everything's flat, and I want it to stay that way. I don't want to be going to bed one night thinking, we're signing Morgan Gibbs-White tomorrow. The next night thinking it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I know.
Go on, Charlie. We were going to leave. We were going to leave you to it. We thought you were going to come on here and give us a 5-minute rant.
Well, there's Eze. There's I could go on and on and on.
No, let's talk about.
Did you get excited? Sorry. Did you get I must admit, I did. If you've watched this channel for any period of time, you'd know what I used to think about Eze coming to Spurs. Did you get excited? Did you think that deal was going to get done?
Yeah, I remember I was playing golf and I got the notification on my phone. Eze to Tottenham is Parish and Levy are talking, and then I came on the fan show at the night, And I was just like, yeah, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. We're going to finally get Eze. And it hasn't happened. But we can hear him crying at the bridge because we've got Simmons. And I love Simmons. I think he's better than Eze. Absolutely. I mean, he's been around since he was 10. I remember when I was really, really little, I used to watch videos of like the next Ronaldo, the next Messi. And I remember actually seeing like a 16-year-old Simmons at Barcelona and PSG. And I followed him for quite a while. He was very, very good at PSV. Since coming to Leipzig, he's been brilliant there. Obviously, they made that deal permanent in January. Obviously, now he's with Tottenham. So yeah, very, very good signing. Kolo Muani, can't wait to see him. I mean, I love Richie. I think he had a great start. Well, I've only started to like him this season because he's done very well this season. And I loved him in the Europa League final. Thought it was really, really good there. And Solanke, if you know me, you know how I think about his the way he presses. I absolutely love it. But Kolo Muani, there's something about him. You probably saw me on Enquiries. I've been playing the new FIFA. He's my striker. He's absolutely brilliant. And I only expect the same in real life. When we signed him, my dad told me, "Oh, Charlie, I don't know about this sign. I've never actually seen him play." And I said, "Yes, you have." And he goes, "When did I see him play?" And I said, "You saw him play in the World Cup final. We came on in the 38th minute for Ousmane Dembele, and he changed the game." Ousmane Dembele, I don't know what's going on. Has he won the Ballon d'Or? He might have by now. I don't know when they're announcing it. He came on. Kolo Muani comes on. Second half, France go 2-0, and then obviously we all know what happens. 3-3 penalties, Argentina win. But he changed that World Cup final. So very, very, very happy with that signing. And yeah, I think it's a very up time, and we shouldn't be upset that things are flat. We should be happy because right now, the way I feel, it's only going to get better. Obviously, the Bournemouth game, I was very angry. I think Frank made some poor decisions. I don't think this was the game for Palhinha to play. But, you know, he said it in his very first press conference. The only thing I can guarantee is that we are going to lose games. And we are. He's right. We're not going to, you know, win the Premier League, the Champions League. As much as I dream of it. And the start I've seen, I think, we keep going like that. We're on the way there eventually. You know, it's not like Amram at Man United. The goal is to win the Premier League. The goal is to finish in the top half of the table for them. You know, I think we're in a very, very bright thing, and we need to keep going.
Absolutely. Well, there is a comment in the chat there. I didn't realise that. Stephen Moran says Villarreal's fans were protesting the price of the tickets, and that's why there was so few. I actually thought there was a price. I might be wrong here. I thought there was a price cap on away tickets. I don't know if that applies to Europe, you know, because I always thought it was 30 quid, but I might be wrong. But what sort of team would you go with? Is that right? No?
No, it doesn't apply to Europe.
That's probably
Can I, before you talk a minute, Craig, can I come back to Charlie on something? You talk about the Ballon d'Or. Harry Kane today has finished 13th in the Ballon d'Or. Is that unfair?
Is it unfair? I think it's unfair that Pedri came 11th. But I was expecting Kane to come a bit higher.
Yeah.
You know, he's done it in the Premier League. He's done it in Germany now. He won 2 trophies since the last Ballon d'Or was given out, the German Super Cup and the Bundesliga. So, you know, I think he should be a bit higher, but I'm biased. And that's another thing I wanted to come across. I was talking about Kolo Muani. Is Kolo Muani a placeholder for Harry Kane? We obviously needed that striker at the end of the summer transfer window, as Richie, you know, we know he's a bit injury prone, and Solanke had just been injured. There was possible surgery that was going to happen for him. But could it be Kolo Muani going to come in this season? It's a 1-year loan. There's no buy option. That doesn't mean that we're not going to go and buy him. I'm sure he'll do well. And, you know, if he does well, it wouldn't surprise me if we went and bought him. But is it maybe they're going to have Kolo Muani this year, and next year they're bringing Harry Kane? Because we know there's a clause that's going to come into contract next year. Levy said in an interview, I don't want to be giving any confidential information away, but there is a clause. So could that be something? Because if we can bring Harry Kane back, I don't care if however old he is, because I think Kane can go on till he's 40. But because he's such a great player. And then people will say, oh, why are we wasting so much money on someone who's well over the age of 30? And, well, at the end of the day, we sold him for 96 million. We bring him back for, let's say, around 50. That's still 40 million profit, and we're getting Harry Kane back. So is that something to talk about? I don't know. But is it unfair that Kane came 13th for the Ballon d'Or? I think he should have come a bit higher. So consider Gyökeres is just behind him, and he's playing in the League of Portugal. And look at him at Arsenal. He scored against Leeds and I forgot the other team he scored against. Forest. Ange's Forest.
Yeah.
We know Ange likes to just go gun-ho with it and send everyone up the pitch. So, is Gyökeres on the same level as Harry Kane? No. That's the simple answer.
chance.
No.
So should he be
Absolutely.
one place higher than Gyökeres or one or whatever it was? No. Disagree.
Yeah. Charlie, last question for you. Would you go strong on Wednesday or would you rest some players? And if you're going to rest players, which ones would you rest?
I wouldn't go weak. I would not go weak. I wouldn't be going like, let's send the whole under-21s team out. Let's send the players who aren't getting in. I'll go fairly strong. I don't like to take chances, I remember, was it Rochdale a few years ago? And we only just scraped getting into the replay, and Newport as well. So like they say, Dr. Tottenham. I don't want to say that, but it's true. And obviously, going into those replays, we were at home. We're going to smash them. We're at home this time, yes. But there's no extra time, so it's going to be difficult. I'll go in goal Kinski. I want to see him have a go. And back line, I go Danso and Davis. Right back, I want to see Archie Gray start playing right back because I think we've got 3 top-class fullbacks in Udogie, Spence and Porro. I'd like Gray to become that 4th. So we have, we can definitely, switch up those sides either way. I'd like to see it. Left back Udogie, he hasn't really had the most games, has he? Midfield, Desco. Sarr didn't play on the weekend, so I want to see him in there. I think he could do something good against the League 2 team. Player you need in that type of game because, I know what League 2, League 1 teams are going to be like. I watch Wycombe Wanderers every week. I live in Wycombe. Obviously, Abbott is incredible for Wycombe. Incredible. Sarr, players like that. I want to see Simmons more in the 10, but only for about half the game. And then front line, I'd go Tell, Johnson, and Kolo Muani if he's fit.
Yeah, it's still a strong team you got there, though, Charlie, isn't it? Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, and I want to see Luca Williams-Barnett. My granddad keeps telling me about him. He has Spurs play, and he watches all the games. He says, this kid is going to be something else. And to think he's only 2 years older than me, and he's scoring hat-tricks against 21s, I find incredible.
Can I just say we've got Steve waiting in the green room. Steve, if you're willing to come on, if you just put your camera on, we'll get you on next. Charlie, last question for you from me. Score predictions for this week. How are you feeling about the Wolves game? Because I don't know whether you heard me say earlier when I said about Wolves losing 5 out of 5. A lot of people are saying Spursy, Dr. Tottenham will see you now. Surely someone like Thomas Frank has to just get rid of all this Spursy nonsense and all of this Dr. Tottenham nonsense that we keep seeing and hearing.
Chris, I thought Spursy was gone after the Europa League final, and then I went to the Super Cup. And he came back to haunt us, Dr. Tottenham. But I think we'll win. I remember last year we went to Crystal Palace away. Palace hadn't won, played Tottenham. They won. And then after that, they had an amazing season, obviously winning the FA Cup. Do I think we'll win this one? Yes, I'm going to this one. I didn't go to the Bournemouth game because I was in Turkey. I did watch it. It wasn't very good. I didn't think they were very good at all. I think I said it earlier. Palhinha wasn't the right pick for that type of game. I thought Iraola sort of knew what to do. And they deservedly got the 3 points. Deservedly didn't get the scoreline, though. It should have been 4-5-0. We got lucky there. But score prediction, I'm sidetracking. Sorry. Doncaster, I want to see 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't want us to concede. I want to see us go, really, let's have it. I want that to be a good night. You know, Carabao Cup is a trophy that Tottenham should be targeting. You know, I've only seen Tottenham win one trophy in my life. I want to see Tottenham win every trophy possible in my life, and I've only seen them win one. So yeah, I hope we can absolutely smash Doncaster. I'm gonna go as Ray says, 3-0, but for Doncaster. And then for Wolves, I'm expecting a 3-1 or maybe 4-1, but we'll beat them. That's all you got. So you want to hear, isn't it?
Charlie, lastly, of course, you are our player.
Yeah.
Well, you've been doing the player ratings, haven't you, after each game? So thanks so much for that. And of course, you've got your own YouTube channel. How's all that going? What can people expect from it, and how can people subscribe?
Well, just type this into YouTube and press subscribe. It's not that hard. That's all you got to do. Please, if you're watching, go and do it. Yeah, no, I haven't done a video in a while because I was in Turkey, and I did do one on fake football shirts, but I'm worried it's going to get taken down because it's too difficult. But I must say, Turkey was lovely. Matchday vlog, Saturday, maybe early hours of Sunday, but go check that out. Go like it. Check the Super Cup final video. That was amazing. Obviously saw all the UEFA trophies. I'm getting a picture of that on my wall. It's actually the home screen now on my phone is me and the Europa League trophy. So yeah, type it into YouTube and go subscribe. And thank you for letting me do the player ratings. This week I watched the Brighton game and I straight away did the player ratings. You know, I want it all fresh in my mind. So yeah, thank you very much. Good luck in the Football Content Creator Awards. I really hope you win, Chris. I really do.
Thank you. We hope we win. You're a part of the channel now, Charlie. So it's we. It's always we. Charlie, thank you so much, and we look forward to getting your player ratings after the Doncaster game. Let's hope that we can go through to the fourth round. Bod the Cap says here, I'm exhausted watching and listening to Charlie. You've got so much energy, which I absolutely love. And I'm going to say this to you, Craig. Does Charlie remind you of like a mini Gary Maloney?
Yeah, definitely. And I wish I had as much energy as Charlie's
I love
got.
Gary. When I heard Gary tonight, I was playing FIFA, listening to the show. I saw Gary. I pressed pause and I watched it because I love watching Gary. I think he's amazing.
He will love you saying that. You've paused FIFA to watch him. He will love that. Yeah.
Well,
right.
I've just spent £90 on the game, so yeah. Thank you, Chris.
Charlie, thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye. Thank you.
Charlie.
Cheers. Right, we're going to go to our last guest of the evening, and we're going to go all the way to the Czech Republic. And I'll tell you what, I love this. I love these fan shows where we go all around the world. We're now in the Czech Republic. Steve, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Really enjoyed the show. I've been watching from the beginning. I had
thank you.
Troubles with the link earlier on. I went off for a couple of times and came back on again and forgot to put the camera on, but I'm back on.
Brilliant.
So,
great to have you with us.
Very good. Yeah.
How are you feeling? How have you been feeling about watching Spurs this season, and what did you make of the Brighton game?
Okay, yeah, I'm very happy with our start. I think Frank's done a fantastic job. Obviously, the Brighton game, it was against the run of the play, the goal. What's his name made the point. There are a couple of people made the point I was going to make. So that was one of the points about. When Romero was chasing back when they got the break initially, he's sprinting back until he gets level with Vicario, and then he just slows down. He doesn't go to that far post where the player's coming in to score, and that was quite surprising. I watched it back about 3 times. I thought maybe it's just the camera angle, so he picked up on that. But no, I'm really, really pleased with Frank. With the tactics, as a lot of people have alluded to. And I think what I'd like to point out or to mention, obviously everyone's noticed it, if he must have a lot of belief in this squad, Frank, and himself, when he went up to play City away and we beat them. And then I was listening to the lot down the road and one of their fan YouTube channels, and they were absolutely slaughtering Arteta for not having the balls, basically, to have a go when they were at home. So Spurs fans should really the ones that have any kind of doubts about Frank and his idea about this squad and our team, to go to play at the Etihad like he had, and with that, not going up there think, oh, we'll try and get a point, we'll try and nick a point. No, we'll go there and take it to them and get the 3 points. Whereas that lot down the road who are supposed to be again challenging for the title, look what they did. One of the most boring games of the season yesterday. So no, I'm really pleased with Frank. Absolutely, as people have alluded to. Looking forward to the Carabao Cup. No, go on.
Yeah, you're not coming over for that, Steve, are you? You're not coming over for that game? I know I saw you last year.
Not the Carabao Cup. I'll wait a bit longer into the Champions League, I think.
You wait for the quarterfinals, semi-finals, the big games.
Exactly, Chris. Exactly. I'll save
the
up
glory.
And no,
semi-final. But yeah,
I think we should go.
Yeah, go on,
Steve.
Steve. Sorry.
I think we should go fairly strong on. I'm an advocate of getting the job done and then letting the, want of a better expression, the lesser lights, the youngsters, the people who haven't played so much, come on. But I'd rather get it done because of past experiences. Let's just say that, let's get 3-0 up by whatever time, and then slowly introduce some other younger players or players that have not had much of a run out yet, like those kind of players.
Yeah, that was going to be my question, actually, Steve. About I've asked it a couple of times, but how strong do you go against Doncaster? Do you still sling in a few, regulars, I suppose, for want of a better word?
Well, definitely. I mean, I wouldn't change too many. I'd change maximum 4. I wouldn't, obviously I would change the goalkeeper. I'd let Kinski have a run out. He needs a game. Archie Gray, Danso, and up front a little bit. I don't know. The thing that nobody seems to know is if that. What's his name? What his name is somewhere. If Mano is Mano's going to be fit, or he's still got the dead leg, or so I'd like to see him start up front in the middle, because as opposed to the old chap, I'm nearly as old as him myself, the guy from the States who was singing the praises of Richie, which is nice to see. Someone has a different view on it. That's what we're here for.
Well, Jim, sorry,
Jim, yeah.
I know Jim's still watching. Sorry, he's called you an old chap, Jim.
I said I'm probably nearly as old as him. I just anyway. So, but I mean that as nicely. My anyway. So it was good to see someone defending. Defending.
I saw Jim a couple of minutes ago said hi, Steve, and I reckon we're seeing a minute bye, Steve.
Yeah, I've never seen you again. Talking about our position in the league, to change the subject quickly. I've watched a lot of the games this season. I was actually pretty ill this last weekend, so I've watched a lot of the teams play. I can honestly say the only team I thought played better than us, who I think will have a job beating, is actually only Liverpool. I watched Chelsea play against Man United. Obviously, I watched Arsenal yesterday and a couple of days before, and watched City 2 or 3 games. Because Newcastle are right off it for obvious reasons, and Villa, well, they're miles off it. So I think, to a question you gave to somebody much earlier on, I think we can make top 5, maybe top 4, if we carry on in this mode. And if the players like Mwani, come in and pick up. Has he said something else now? Has he?
Yeah, he says, Jim, the old chap, my new nickname. I like it. You got away with that one.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I mean, it's a term of affection from where I come from. It could have been worse.
I don't know what. I don't know what they'll say about me and Craig about what we're called. But yeah,
probably
Steve, before you go, give us some score predictions for this next week, and what rotation do you expect throughout the course of the 3 games? And I'm talking Doncaster, Wolves, Bodo. Of course, we will see a number of changes, no doubt, under Frank. Yeah. And one of the things that I perhaps haven't discussed tonight, but we've discussed on previous shows, I really like the fact that Thomas Frank is so unpredictable about as fans, who follow the club day by day, week by week. We can't even predict his starting 11. It's impossible. Yeah.
Yeah. With someone who shall be nameless, you could always pick the team roughly over the last couple of seasons. But now, like you say, he's totally unpredictable. It was like everyone thought it was a given that that Simmons would start on Saturday, and he didn't. It was like a big shock. And like you say, he's obviously sees things in the training ground that we don't see, and so he's very unpredictable. So it makes he's even more unpredictable for the opposition. So I reckon, in terms of results, I'd like to see us really, score a few goals and bring on younger players and get 5, at least 5. I'll go 5 against Doncaster. And I just watched the Wolves game this afternoon again. Their last game against Leeds, steering me. So I reckon 3-0. Why not? We're at home. We're doing 3-0. And Bodo, I reckon we'll still win there like we did last season. 2-0. Yeah, a couple of. Hopefully we won't concede.
Did you watch the full Wolves game? Did you say?
Yeah.
Yeah. What players should we look out for? Do you say?
Well, actually, the guy who scored a goal is Czech, Krejcir, who's on loan from what Italian club is it? I can't remember now. To be honest, he's on loan. The Czech guy he can play in defence, but he was playing in midfield, and they didn't pick him up, and he ran into the box. I can't remember his Christian name, Krejcir. Because I can't remember a lot of the main players. They've got so many new players in their squad. A little bit pacey now and again, but Leeds contained them pretty well. I know what you mean, though. We always bit of a bogey team, Wolves, over the years. But no, I'm not expecting Dr. Tottenham. I don't want to hear Dr. Tottenham now. 3-0.
Good.
Comfortable early goal, and then put the afterburners on and really take it to them. Really pleased of it. All good.
What a great way.
Really happy with Kudus.
Yeah. What I was going to say, Steve, what a great way to end the show of you saying we don't want Dr. Tottenham and we're not going to see Dr. Tottenham. Fair enough. Yes, exactly right. It's exactly what I'm saying. Thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you again for a pint in the quarter or the semi-finals.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'll book a ticket and book a hotel. Yeah, congratulations, by the way, on your 4 nominations.
Thank you.
Hopefully, I'm sure you'll win it, most of them or all of them.
Thank you, Steve. I appreciate it.
Good night,
and
Chris.
we
Good
appreciate
night.
all your input on these shows as well. Thank you.
Yeah,
cheers, Steve.
Okay. All right. Cheers.
Speak to you soon.
Night, Jim. No hard.
Bye.
I'm going to call you Grumpy now. I think Terry kind of put you in your place without you even knowing it.
What did he say?
Well, just what's the? How can anyone be grumpy? How can anyone feel like things aren't good?
No. I never said it wasn't good. I just said it was flat. There's a difference, you see. So I think there's a weird atmosphere around the fan base at the moment, and I think he's probably right. I think it was Terry that used that phrase, and I can't actually remember the word he used, but he's calm. I think calm was the thing he said, and perhaps we're just not used to that. I mean,
That's it.
The last week.
That's it.
It's been
we're not used to it.
That, isn't it? Yeah,
we're not used to calmness. Yeah.
So
absolutely.
Perhaps we should get used to calmness. It's much less stressful, isn't it?
My 2 favourite moments on this fan show tonight: Gary coming on with a huge smile, Terry coming on with a huge smile. I tell you, I love people smiling when we're talking about Spurs, particularly early on in the season. I've really enjoyed tonight's fan show, talking to everyone, and I know it's a great gauge, isn't it? We talk to people from all around the world in a number of different countries, which is absolutely brilliant. But to get that feel from everyone around the world of how they feel about Spurs right now, everyone is in a positive place, and like we've said, it is calm. And I like this calm at the moment. Let's hope that we can, win in 3 different competitions in the next 7-8 days, starting with Doncaster at home, and then Wolves at home, and then of course, Bodo Glimt away, which I didn't ever think we'd be playing them again. Certainly not so soon, anyway. But yeah, really enjoyed tonight's fan show, Craig. Thanks so much for your input. Do you want to give us a score prediction before you go for these next couple of games?
Yes, I think I said I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to go 4-0 against Doncaster and 2-0 against Wolves. I'm going to.
I did ask you. I asked you earlier. I was just wondering whether you remembered them.
I think you forgot the fact that you asked me, and I suddenly remembered halfway through the question that you'd already asked me. That's what happened.
Yeah, it's because have you fallen asleep again? Because you've done it a couple of times now.
Yeah.
Craig, thank you so much for joining us. And a big thank you again to everybody for watching and for listening. And many thanks to everyone who has come on tonight. It'd be great to get some new guests on as well, people that we haven't spoke to before. So if you'd like to come on a future show, please do send us an email, tottenhamfanchris@gmail.com. And thank you once again if you nominated us for one of the Football Content Awards. We have been shortlisted for 4. So, honestly, we cannot thank you enough for all of your incredible support. Craig, before you go, where can everyone find you on social media? You up to anything interesting these next few weeks?
Nothing particularly earth-shattering, but trying to get in a game of golf before the winter sets in, because you never can tell what the weather's going to be like in this country. And yes, I know it's a all-weather sport, but I don't particularly like playing in the rain. But looking forward to the next few games for Spurs. Thoroughly looking forward to the Ryder Cup at the weekend. And I'm sorry, Terry and Jim and all the other American cousins out there, we're going to spank you this time. I think we're going to retain the Ryder Cup. So really looking forward to that. Apart from that, if you want to follow me at Demon9 on X, give me a follow if you want to. Thank you very much.
And nearly 2.5 hours in, John's still sticking up for you and saying Craig is not grumpy.
Top man. I love Canada as well. Absolutely. I'm going to get out to see John one of these days. I will.
Yeah.
Because I've always wanted to go to Canada. So good excuse to go.
Yep. Right. Thank you so much, Craig. Thanks for all your input. Thanks for your incredible support, everyone. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And remember that all of these shows are available on audio platforms as well. We will see you on the next show after the Doncaster game, when hopefully Spurs have beaten Doncaster in the Carabao Cup 3rd round. And we go through to the 4th round. And let's hope that it is a very positive week. 3 wins out of 3. Stay safe and well. Come on, you Spurs.